Hello, hello, hello. Gentlemen.
Hello, you beautiful beast.
What's up, brother?
What's up?
Yo, bro.
How are we?
I'm doing wonderful.
Good, good.
Having a good day, man.
Give me a sec. I don't have audio again because Discord is the worst program ever.
Hey, wait till Microsoft buy it, bro. You think it's bad now?
At least it's not Amazon. At least Amazon's just not literally buying everything.
That's true. That's true. Yo,
Like,
Peacock, what's up?
There's a huge Amazon fulfillment center near me, and like they're about to finish building another building, and like
Kitchen.
it's so crazy
What's
because
happening?
where it's at, it's like this huge building that's over looming the entire like town. It's like the overlords of Amazon are here. Bad.
Yeah, bro. Amazon.
I actually think Jeff Bezos has a throne at the top of the building.
Is that why you got your guns out? Is that why you got your guns out?
Sun's out, guns out. Yeah, I'm trying to intimidate him.
What is? Am I getting my normal mic on this? Or
No,
is it-
I was about to say. I think you might be running like a
Cam mic.
webcam mic there or something.
Listen, I brought the guns, you brought the man chest, and it's beautiful.
Yeah, I'm loving the shirt.
Oh yeah, you guys caught like going out drunky.
Hell yeah, dude.
How about now? Is my normal mic?
Yes, we got you, bro.
Cool. Sorry about that.
First, I thought you were on a phone. I was like, man, Drnkie really be committed on a phone for the podcast.
Look, I'll never miss the Marvelous Chats, phone or not. I'll phone into the Marvelous Chats, all right?
Let's go, boys. I love it. I love it.
All right. Sorry, I'm a little like discombobulated. I literally just walked in the door.
No problem, dude. Take your time.
Did you guys happen
Yo,
to
me, Cherry,
watch
you?
Mortal Kombat yet?
No. Watch that tonight.
I'm gonna watch
So
it on
good.
Sunday. Is it good?
So
Yeah.
good. Yeah, I won't say any spoilers for it.
I've seen mixed things.
I enjoyed it. And I also think
Peacock,
that
how are you today? Happy Friday, everybody.
Because I looked it up.
Drunky and flannel. I know it's fantastic. What an absolute treat.
So you're saying they live
Doing
on
great.
leave
I'm
it on a
doing great.
cliffhanger
Mitch.
then,
I'm
huh?
doing really good.
No, I'm saying I Googled because there was one part I was confused about, and then it said that like even it might be later this year, Mortal Kombat like Fist of Fury or Fist of something, fisting.
Oh. Mortal Kombat, fisting. Bend over, finish him.
It's good, dude.
Blakey, what's up, dude? I think it's only the three of us tonight. Max was kind of on the fence a little bit. He's got to do daddy duties. He thought he might be able to get it free, but he unfortunately can't. And Anders mailed me during the week, and Bronxy mailed me today saying something came up, so he couldn't take part. So it's the Three Musketeers tonight.
Is Friday a bad day for the Marvelous Chats? You feel like people can't watch this stuff in time?
I don't know if it's that. I don't think so, because like I know Max has seen it. He just has daddy duties. He can't do it, unfortunately. Bronxy didn't go into detail about why he's not here, but look, it is what it is. Yeah.
Do you work Saturdays, Finto?
No, I don't.
For Loki, we could do Saturday mornings if that works for you.
Yeah.
I don't know if it would, just because I live in a very small apartment, and the reason why I don't stream during the day is because right behind me is my sitting room, and there's usually a child running around it acting the maggot. So I wouldn't be able to stream with him like doing front flips on the couch and stuff. So
That's how we get the views up.
Yeah, we're gonna get him a Red Bull sponsor. What do you mean?
Max says he watched it last night.
Oh, what a lord.
Yeah,
Dang, you
fair
watched
enough.
it right when it came out.
He's on the West Coast, though, so it's like it's like out for midnight for him, right?
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
That's cheating.
The Mortal Kombat movie's on HBO, am I right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's HBO Max.
Super.
I don't have HBO Max in this country, so I will have to find my own. I'll have to find my own way to download it or to get my hands on it. I'll say no more.
This is no spoilers, but I will say it's
There we go.
gory.
Oh well, that was to be expected.
Nice gore. Well, like when you see the original ones, they obviously in those times they didn't use gore as much. They do not shy away from it in this one.
See, I think gore is needed now because Like, I think we've become so desensitized to just, you know, people stabbing people. Like, that happens in fucking kids' movies now. So I think to do something like that, like, well, like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, you're watching the Avengers, and, you know, people are getting stabbed and killed and all this sort of thing, trampled on and all. Whereas, like, I think with something like Mortal Kombat now, you kind of have to have, like, some, like, full-blown beheadings and all this sort of thing, I presume, to kind of get a bit of a shock value. We're completely desensitized to this stuff now.
It's a good time.
It's a great time. It's a great time. The more gore, the better.
Yeah, someone gets stabbed in Kingdom Hearts and there's literally no blood, and I was like angry the whole time. Like, he's like sitting there like, ugh. And not only that, he's like flirting with the 15-year-old, and he's clearly like an adult with a goatee.
Oh,
and he's
God.
That game is just sus.
Yeah, stabbing in kids' movies. Give me a few minutes to think about it. I will come up with some examples. That was a wild statement, but I will back it up. Just give me
Back in the 80s, like the Goonies and stuff, they would stab fucking people. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
True. Yeah, so I think let's just go into the episode, I suppose. What first of all, did it impress? Was it a letdown? Tell us, what do we think? Just quick overview.
I think for me, just like, you know, overall episode, I think they actually stuck the landing. I was surprised that they were able to pull everything together into like a clear and just, you know, a fulfilling ending to everything that they were doing in the show. I thought there was a lot of kind of like loose ends and like different routes with a lot of characters, and they actually did bring like everything in together into like a focal point, which I thought was good. I don't know how they're gonna do this, bro.
Yeah.
So I think they stuck the landing. I do got like problems, right, here and there. Some more nitpicky than others, but overall, I was like, yeah, that's a good episode, man. That's good action.
I think they stuck the landing, like you said, as far as tying all those loose ends together.
Yeah.
But for me, the problem I have is, like, if we're going off what we've been given so far, which is what I'm going to do, and I look to WandaVision for that, WandaVision's, like, finale climactic felt full on, I'm in an IMAX movie theater, and I'm just getting face melted with Marvel action. Like, that felt really enjoyable to watch. Mm-hmm. When they, and like, it built up to a really awesome reveal. And this felt like a little bit of action, and then, hey, we're going to tie off all these loose ends. And it also started slow. So it was like a slow sandwich on either side with some action in the middle, which I respect that they had it. Maybe they just set themselves up for failure in the way they did out the season opposed to WandaVision, but that's why I was let down. And the boat never went anywhere. I got 20 minutes of that last episode, and it never sailed. They're eating shrimp there, and like, show me you catching the shrimp. I want that more. Yeah, catch the shrimp.
We didn't even see a bottle of champagne smashed over that bitch either. Like, you know.
Oh my god, bro! Like I was like, dude, at the very end, could they at least just be on the boat sailing off to the sunset, cracking beers or something? Like, we did it. Cheers, bud. Like, that's all I wanted, man.
What do you guys think about the quick turnaround on John Walker? Like, even Bucky was being a little chappy with him there.
Yeah, like I think you know, the whole Flag Smashers storyline, I've been watching a good few videos, and this whole kind of pandemic speculation on the storyline that they kind of had to switch during reshoots. The more I watch, the more that sounds more realistic. Like, I really do think that the Flag Smashers thing was kind of thrown in as a kind of Hail Mary to kind of try and fix a dying project, which was obviously out of Marvel's control with the pandemic and everything. You know, and I think even in the very last scenes with the Flag Smashers, I just didn't care about any of them. I didn't care about the story at all. The kind of leader, whatever her name was, the young girl, I just didn't care. And then as well with
Harley,
her,
I think.
I don't know. Then she has that scene where they're kind of talking, and she's like, yeah, we're going to kill the hostages, and her team are like, what are you talking about? Like, why are you going to do that? And she's just like, look, we've people are going to follow us no matter what. We've made a statement. I don't care if I die. And then she's dying in Sam's arms, and she's like, I'm so sorry. She's all remorseful and stuff. It was like, I don't know, maybe are they trying to portray that the serum is just driving her crazy or something? Because it was just, it's just like, she's not making any sense. She's all for terrorism 1 second, and then she's like crying and shaking and all remorseful and all this stuff. I don't know. It was just, the storyline felt like it was kind of all over the place for me. I like the whole John Walker thing. I love John Walker. US Agent is cool. The Thunderbolts is going to be good, or Dark Avengers, whichever way they go with it. I'm all for that. I want to see more of that. I think they're going to do a big breakout in the raft, and I'd say Zemo's going to be gone. He'll join the Thunderbolts. You might even see the fact that the two guys were kind of pally at the end, him and Bucky. Maybe Bucky will go and join the Thunderbolts as well, and you might get John Walker and Bucky teaming up, like, you know, kind of like a U.S. agent and White Wolf or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, like I thought the episode was pretty cool. I was a little disappointed with the suit. Like, the suit itself is quite comic accurate, which was great. I like to see it.
The ear holes.
But I just thought that the fact that Wakanda made it, I just thought we would see a little more tech. Maybe, I don't know. I was kind of like, it was just like, it's just a jetpack still, you know. And the wings obviously they have like a bigger span or whatever, and they were kind of cool. But again, maybe it was just they don't have the budget to kind of show off all the cool shit in the TV show, but in this movie, you know, they will. Max literally just sent me as well. Just, I don't know if it's actually been confirmed that Sam will be getting his own Captain America movie, Captain America 4. Black Captain America movie. It's coming.
I will say, you just reminded me though, Finto. I thought that they had stuck the landing as far as tying all the loose ends together. You just reminded me. We got like a couple mentions of White Wolf and nothing more, and now I'm actually realizing how upset I am about that. Like, not even a post-credit, just even a shot of him walking away. Like, I don't even need to see him full on in the suit. Just show me him in the suit at some point. But like,
yeah, or even just him going back to Wakanda or something like that.
I'm so disappointed in that.
Yeah, I like the way as well that they changed. Sorry, just one quick one. Just that they, you know, the title of the show changed at the very end to Captain America and the Winter Soldier. Yeah,
that's cool.
I thought that was pretty sweet. And then Max was saying to me that he thinks like that the movie will just be called Captain America and the Winter Soldier, but I'm like, Captain America 2 was called Captain America the Winter Soldier, so like you can't really have the same title, just add the word and, like, so I think that'd be quite confusing. Although I think we'll probably get a different title, but fair play to Sam for getting the movie. You know, it's a powerful statement, and I'm over the moon for it. Like, you know, I do want to see the story continue. For sure.
I will say this, like, I feel like when we were talking about the movie, the lineups, right, about all the movies coming out, just before we get back to the episode, I feel like we were saying, like, it feels like there's something missing here. There feels like there's not like a connecting movie that kind of like would tie in like Sam and White. Like there felt like there was something missing in the lineup that, you know, like Sam's not going to be in Captain Marvel, he's not going to be in Spider-Man. Like all these other movies kind of felt like they were kind of full up on cast.
I think I think he might make an appearance in Spider-Man, but very, very small.
Yeah.
Like, very small. Sorry, go on.
I wanted to circle back on his outfit, because I thought the outfit at first, I was like, oh my god, it's like right out of the comic book. Like, fuck yeah. And then when he's like kind of flying around and doing action stuff, I'm like, this looks awesome. And then when it's any other type of scene, I'm like, what the hell is going on here? Like, we cannot be this. We cannot be this accurate, because it does look a bit corny, and I think that's what MCU does really good. Is like they take stuff that looks like it's comic book, but they kind of mute the colors, tone it down, change a few things. You know, kind of like Captain America in the first Avengers movie looked ridiculous, right? Like, he just
all of them did though. Everyone looked bad in that movie. The costume design in that movie was horrendous, and like that's kind of a known thing now. That's you know, they
even
fucked
got to the point
up
where
there.
they just dropped Captain America's, like, he didn't wear the helmet for 80% of the movies he was in.
Winter Soldier suit is always my favorite Cap suit, and you know the way they even changed. It was like the stealth suit, and they even changed the colors on the shield and stuff. It was that's my favorite Cap right there. Is Winter Soldier Cap for sure.
So I hope they tone it down. Like, I hope, like, it's a thing. It's like where they come back to the, like, every other movie or every different movie, there's like alterations of the things. Hopefully they refine it. Like, I think the biggest problem is just like the white helmet part of it.
Yeah,
like, I think
it's
all
just
they
like you see on
like,
his head, and it's really strange. Like,
if they just like turn that to like a dark blue or something, I think we're good, right? Like, I think that might be all they have to do. But
again, going back to WandaVision, like, look at how they previewed her final costume and made it look like it was going to be the OG costume, but it had its own twist in the end and looked way better than just if they would have just given her exactly what the comic.
I loved all the scenes, just to back up what you said, Drnkie, like all the scenes where he was flying and it looked like he was like shooting the fucking shield out of his, like it was getting catapulted out of the back of the suit and all. That was really cool, and I really liked it. But the scenes where he was just standing on the ground, standing still, where there was obviously no CGI involved, I thought, it looked a bit cheap. It looked a bit, and I was kind of a bit let down by it. I thought we might see a bit of Wakanda tech going through it, kind of like Bucky's arm and stuff like that. I thought that'd
we
be
got
really
two
cool.
Red Wings, okay? We got two of them now, okay, buddy?
Yeah.
My man's wearing a pair of Oakleys and he's got ear holes, and I'm just like, can't you have like a heads-up display, like vision?
Yeah.
Cool thing?
Yeah, the goggles. Max is so angry in the chat right now. He loves the suit. That's so good. Circa says he also loved that Bucky got to finish his book, like Steve's book. He got all the names crossed off. That was good. I loved Bucky's story throughout the whole thing.
Great
I thought
arc, man.
Bucky was the star of the show. I really think so. Like I know it was all about Sam, but I think it was all about, for me, it was all about Bucky. Like I love Bucky's story so much. Yeah, it was fantastic.
So many great scenes with Bucky, man.
Yeah.
Like when he pulls those people out or opens up that one door and they thank him for saving him.
Yeah.
Like I don't think he's ever heard that from anybody, right? So it's like him like changing. He hits the fucking hero, like the hero drop, whatever, like the 3-point landing where he's like, bam,
oh yeah, bro,
like, I'm here.
that was
Like,
so
that was
cool.
like amazing.
Yeah.
And like not only is he like crossing off, not only is he like crossing off all his names, he's leaving Steve's book behind. So it's like it's such a good moment there where it's like. His past is being left behind.
Yeah.
And then, seeing him on the dock at the very end, I love that little coda scene where they just have, hanging out at Sam's dock and like Bucky's actually like really enjoying himself. He seems like happy, like over the top.
He's at peace, like.
Yeah, it was such a good arc, man. I loved it, bro. You're right. Like, I'm not gonna say he was like the main character, but like his arc was definitely way more enjoyable than I think any other character that I've seen on TV, just in terms of like it just felt good. It felt really good.
100%.
That's why I was so upset we didn't get like one peek of White Wolf or anything out of that, even because the mentions were early on in the show. Like I don't know if it was first or second episode, but they mentioned White Wolf very early on. So like it felt like
it did feel like they were going to launch it. Like for sure.
And then you have his character progression. So I felt like at the end they could have just, even if it would have been like a last minute post credit scene or something, they could have given us something.
True.
Yeah. I'll say something I really hated about this show though, that just felt so bad. I thought, Sharon Carter.
Yeah.
The fucking worst.
Oh,
like,
bro.
What is the point of her character in this whole series, man?
I'm so upset by her. Like, and I'm watching the scene and I'm like, fucking how dare you, like tarnish Peggy Carter's name. Like, I'm just so annoyed now. Like, it's just, it's kind of,
and that does
boring.
hurt. But like, I think that's a really good way to take a character, like someone who is so good and like on the level like Steve Rogers good, and then just gets fucked over so bad and gets pushed so bad and forgotten about and bitter that she changes, right? Like she's kind of like the Isaiah Bradley's story where like the government like turns on them, exiles them, does all this stuff, and then they become really bitter about it.
Yeah.
And so I think that's good. I don't think they really earned that though. You know what I mean? That was my biggest problem. It's like having someone go from A to B like that. It's pretty cool, but they definitely didn't show it to us. It's just like, she's like, yeah, they pushed me out. Now I'm a bit, and so it just feels cheap.
Yeah.
But her throughout the entire episode was just so dumb. Like right from the very beginning, when she just like, Sam's like, oh yeah, I sent in some, I called in some backup.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, look at me in disguise.
Yeah, I'm here.
Just stop. Just like, why? Why are you disguised? Like all the stuff's going on in New York City, and like they're like, make sure keep an eye out for Sharon Carter. If you see this face, make sure you call someone. Like
she's been missing for 7 years, but she's still on a high priority list. Like,
it's like the most high tech disguise of all time with like
so
hologram.
Dumb.
It's like the US government have now given away Cap Shield twice. It's like Sharon, we've forgotten about you. Like
and then I thought her just absolutely melting that one dude's face off.
Yeah, that was pretty extreme, I thought. Like, that guy wasn't a threat at all, and he got absolutely melted.
And I feel like because you've turned me on to the idea that this was like kind of supposed to be a different storyline. I feel like if there was like a toxin, virus type of thing storyline in the show that was cut out, it was going to involve that type of gas. And so her gassing someone like that was supposed to be the big reveal. Like, oh my God, like we've been dealing with this gas this whole time. And she just like murked a dude with it. Like she's the one that has it.
As far as I know, like Sharon wasn't even in the original storyline. She was brought in like during reshoots and stuff. And I think that the Flag Smashers had nothing to do with it either. So I think that whole arc is completely new and completely different. Yeah, I really think so. And just to talk as well, just before it leaves my mind, but I found myself cringing at some of the dialogue in the episode as well. Like, you know, when Sam's fighting George St. Pierre and he's throwing out all like, he's like, hey, a baguette and some French fries. I'm like, oh, bro. I was like, this is painful to listen to. And like, oh, it was really,
I'm always
really
cheesing
bad.
whenever GSP is on the screen, so I'm always laughing.
No, I know, but GSP was actually great. He was great. Like the guy's not an actor, and he's holding it up in the MCU.
He's got charisma.
Yeah, he's a cool dude. Like I had no problems with GSP at all. It was just in that episode how like Sam was talking to him was just painful to listen to.
And I super appreciate how they didn't force him to like do an arm bar or something. Whenever there's an MMA fighter acting, there's always like they always manage to get an arm bar in there somewhere, and you're like, all right, we get it.
It's like WWE guys when they bring them in, someone's going through a table or something, like, you know, there's a choke slam coming, like, you know it.
Yeah.
I think Loki's going to be a good show. Sorry, I just replied there. Just people talk about Loki in the chat. I do think Loki's going to be good.
Yeah,
I'm excited for Loki.
I think the high expectations for me came from this because Mex was saying everyone has high expectations and it's going to ruin things for him, and he stopped with his high expectations after WandaVision. Mm-hmm. For me, I think the only reason I had high expectations is because, like I said, like episode 1 and 2, they're mentioning stuff like White Wolf, and then they do have the actual good character development that would lead you to believe, like, hey, we're going to see something. And then what we got was just like half the episode of tying up loose ends. And like, I just felt like, I don't know, when we got like the action and like I said, WandaVision again, like the CGI they had to put into that and the money for them to be flying around, it looked full on movie quality. And like the action in this, the fight scenes were all right. The flying around was all right, but a lot of it was him doing the turtle move and
stuff in the morning. So it's like kind of bright out where I'm watching my TV. Was it really dark for you guys to like follow along and like figure out what's going on? Was it super dark, or is that just my kind of viewing experience?
I didn't really. For me, it was okay. Like I was watching it in the dark, so it was okay for me.
Yeah,
but
I didn't notice. It wasn't like Game of Thrones dark.
Yeah. Dude, there's the one point where
got so dark.
It's when Bucky is like fighting the Flag Smashers after like the door or whatever. And like he drops down to that sand pit, and I thought he was fighting Carly down there. I'm like, wait, that was the Asian dude down there? Like I got so confused, bro. Yeah. I was like, oh my god. But Jess-B being in the show, thank God they kept him around from Captain America: Winter Soldier, and then brought him back for the first episode, and then last episode, and then brought him. Thank God they kept him around just for Sharon Carter to shoot him real quick and just be done with him.
Oh, bro.
Yeah. Thank you for bringing him along with us.
Yeah, what the hell? Like,
that scene was so weird, bro.
It was so weird, dude. Like,
now, one thing I didn't get when Zemo had the assassin kill the last 3 super soldiers. Before that. Yeah, right before he did that, the one dude was like, one world, one people or whatever. So I thought they were about to
I thought they were in the clear,
out. Yeah, I thought, I was like, oh, they're about to get hooked up, and then they just blow up, and I was like, wait.
Well, it was that cop who threw them in the back of the truck. He is on their side. He is a terrorist technically. Oh. But whoever the guy was,
he just didn't know.
He didn't know himself. But the guy who set off the car bomb, was that somebody who we hadn't seen before? I didn't recognize that character.
I thought that was Zemo's like butler or whatever from the
was
airplane.
It? Oh, maybe.
I swear to God,
maybe. Yeah,
that's what I thought.
I don't know. You're probably right. And then like when it goes to the news report in the raft and Zemo just kind of giggles and lies down, you're just like, that motherfucker. Yeah, that makes sense to me. It probably was someone on Zemo's team got them.
Thunderbolts are coming, baby.
Did you guys see what Mech said? You guys hear that the Fast and Furious universe is joining the MCU? The last Infinity Stone has been found. It's called the Family Stone.
Oh my god!
And his name is John Cena.
I swear to God, if Vin Diesel came into the MCU as like Dominic Toretto, I would not be in any way surprised at all. Sure, bro. In that new movie, they're going to space, bro. Like they're doing a mission where they go to space.
He's gonna meet himself as Groot.
They used to
as Dom Toretto.
Oh my god! Imagine, I am Groot. No, I am Groot. No, I genuinely would not be shocked at all. Like the fact that those movies have gone from racing a quarter mile at a time and that being your entire life to actually doing missions working for the FBI where you're going into space. Like I presume it's going to be
amazing.
It's
I live
crazy.
Life a quarter mile at a time.
Yeah,
all the way to space.
It's crazy. Like it really is. But hey, fair play to them. They're living the dream.
Yeah.
9 fucking movies, and I didn't think they would make one after Paul Walker died at all. I thought that was it. I thought like that's it. The franchise is gone. And I think it probably should have ended there, to be honest. Like, because I think the 7th movie was actually quite good, and I think it was a really good end and really good send off for Paul Walker. And I just don't think the movies have been good since. I think they're just shameless cash grabs at this stage.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, like really bad. Like it felt like the Paul Walker story, it was some sort of an arc. It felt like it was some sort of a story. It was leading to him getting Mia back and getting the family and getting out of the game and all this stuff. Like that made sense. And then, when he, sets off to the sunset and Toretto goes back into the life of crime like he always has. I think that was kind of like, that's the man he is, and, that was it. That should have been the end of it. But hey, we're going to space now, boys.
We're going to space.
He's gonna run into Chris Evans on the moon. He's like, "What are you doing here?" I don't know.
Yeah, what's that story? What, like, everyone thinks that Chris Evans is on the moon. I thought that's kind of funny, like, because like, isn't that the storyline in the Avengers video game that he's actually he's being held on the moon, and then Tony Stark goes to rescue him?
I think it's just like a bit of like tongue in cheek, like the government's on the moon and in outer space, and so like a little bit of that like starts to trickle out into the public, and then like rumors start to like we're on the moon now, like come on now.
Yeah.
I will say, I really do believe Sam became Captain America more so than ever before in this episode with a lot of the things he was doing.
Well, he just took the mantle. Like he just said, "Fuck it!" Like what I mean? Like someone says to him as he's walking past, "When did the government give you the shield?" And he's just like, "I am Captain America." Like he just took it. He just took it, bro. He's like,
I think the monologue was
going
a little over the top.
Yep. The monologue, it was a bit on the nose, right? Like I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch it to like really get. It felt like a little long, right? Like it felt like it was a chunk to say. Yeah. And I don't think a lot of TV shows really, or even movies anymore, like go into that long of a soliloquy, just like going off. Yeah. But I thought the scene was when he was in the sewers or whatever, and Carly's like hits him. He pushes his wings into the ground. She's cool. Like, stay down. And he's like, no. I'm like, that's like a Captain America scene. Yeah. Like, that's what I've been waiting for. That's what I was asking for this entire show. Yeah. And like, I wish he would have said something a little bit, more quippy or like iconic than no. But it still felt good. Like, that's something I've been looking for, where it's like, no matter what happens, like, he stands and like, you're not going to beat him down. Like, he's going to keep getting back up and going until you completely get rid of him. And I've been asking for that literally this entire season. I'm like, they got to do something to give Sam it. Yeah. And they finally did. And I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think like, I'm not the biggest like Falcon fan, but he was cool. Like, he
Captain America, sir. Captain America. Thank you.
He did put his heart on the line, like for sure. Like, he's going up against Flag Smashers. And like, I kind of felt to myself, like, I was like, this is a bit unrealistic because, the Flag Smasher, the ginger one, had just fucked up John Walker, who's an enhanced soldier. Like, so I thought, like, how is Sam going to be able to beat her? And I don't know. Yeah, we'll blame it. Like, we'll give props to Wakanda for creating the wings. Like, that obviously helped them. But it was cool. It was great. I will
say, I love John Walker getting straight jumped, bro, by like 6 super soldiers just like
the shield just crumbling. I love the sound. I love the sound effects of the shield. Like, it was just like a piece of shit. Like, but I thought that was actually done really well. I thought I'm all behind that.
Impressive.
Sorry, come on. Impressive.
John Walker's like entire arc.
Yeah.
Like the way they brought him back into it being like giving him like a hero moment. I did not see coming. I thought that I thought he was going to come back in New York and kind of be against Sam and be against Bucky and like be, kind of like a third entity to be like, I'm going to do what I want. And then they give him a fucking straight up hero moment where I'm like, God damn it. It got me liking him again. Yeah. Like, he just killed somebody in like 2 episodes, and I'm like, all right, saving people.
Like, I know in the comic books, like, John Walker like will blindly follow Steve Rogers. Like, he like worships Steve Rogers. So like he's a very much so like an anti-hero in the comic books. So I thought that maybe they might, like, the way it was going, obviously you're to think that it's going to be Dark Avengers or Thunderbolts and he's going to be like a Punisher style anti-hero, but it seems like he's kind of redeemed himself a little bit. Like, no one's trying to arrest him or anything like that, like, and then I love the fact that he's US agent now. I love the suit as well. It's very comic.
The suit looks so good, bro.
Very, very comic accurate as well. Really good. So yeah, John Walker, I think, is, I'm dying to see more. I don't know where. Like, I presume are they gonna launch some sort of like Thunderbolts TV show? Is that on the list? It has to be, right?
It's on Disney Plus. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So that's
It's
where,
it's
that's where
down the
he's,
line though, but it's there.
that's where I presume that's where he's coming back. Well, unless
Mm-hmm.
he appears in one of the movies. I'd love to see him on the big screen. I think him and Captain America 4 would be really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I could definitely see him, like, if Bucky doesn't show up in Captain America 4, right? Maybe if he's off doing something else, they could definitely have John Walker in there being kind of like a super serumed up, Captain America versus what Bucky wants to do. Or not Bucky, I'm sorry, Falcon wants to do. I'm sorry, Captain America wants to do. It's too many name changes here.
Yeah.
But I loved his whole story. I loved his arc. I loved, from the last episode, I kind of see him and Isaiah Bradley, who was fantastic in this episode, by the way, as kind of like two different sides of the same coin, who got trained by the government to do something, who got like worked up by the government to do something, and then got burned by them in the end, right? I kind of see them like carrying that same story. One just kind of like, went a little crazy, and the other one just got completely messed over because he was a hero. But they both in the end are victims of this, like, military whatever they're trying to say with it.
Yeah,
which I found was I thought it was a really cool parallel between those two people.
I loved Sam's line as well. He's like, I've fought so much for this country. No one's ever going to tell me that I can't protect this country. Like, and it's kind of, like, let them fucking try and lock me up. Like, it's not going to happen. Yeah.
I will say I love the potential that Sam adds to the use of the shield. Like, just even something as simple as when he exits the fight from GSP, where he throws it out the window and you see it arcing like a frisbee, and then he goes and catches up to it.
Oh
like,
my god, that
was nice. Yeah, and then he says, "Oh boy, you earned this ass whooping." Like, ooh.
that bit where he like just shot the pilot out of the fucking helicopter. He just erased him. Like, I was like, holy shit, that guy just got erased. That was amazing. I thought that was so cool.
When he got that one lady out, and like the Asian lady from the back had to jump up to the sticks and fly it.
Yeah.
Like, man, reckless, don't you think? That's I don't know. Like,
the bit where he jumped out the window, I think, what you were talking about. Like, when I'm watching it, I kind of think like I need an image for like the thumbnail for the YouTube, and that there's an image where like it was just the shot of the shield like spinning, and it's Sam coming to catch up on. I was like, that right there. I was like, that's the image for the YouTube. 100%.
Really
I was like,
good.
That is fucking
like
beautiful.
they caught the arc, and what frisbee golf nerds will call that arc is called a hyzer.
Yeah.
They catch the hyzer of the.
I'm gonna walk. If you say the word hyzer one more time, I'm walking out of here. Hyzer? There are no moves in frisbee. Okay, stop this.
Hey, that's the term for when that arcs left to right. Okay.
I know Mex put it in the chat earlier, but also the scene when Sam lands on the bridge and the helicopter lands on him, and he does that like full turtle with like the wings covering him, and then Captain Shield on top of that, and the helicopter like bounces off of him. Like that was a wild move with the shield, man. Like I like Kyle was saying, there's a lot of potential where Captain America had a lot of, like, he's Captain America, you can do a lot with it, but the potential because of the wings and the combos, it's just
and like obviously he can shoot it like a gun, like
that
full
like
turtle
move.
Like I was saying with the thing as well, where he shoots it out of his back. I thought that was epic. Like that's like something like a toy would do. Like you press a button, the shield shoots off. Like so, like that's really cool.
I love how he's like even evolving how he fights with the wings. Like when he was fighting Carly and she goes to hit him and he's blocking with the shield and the wings stab down into the ground to give him more ability to hold it, and he's just like,
nope.
Yeah, he needs all that, obviously, because especially when he's going against super soldiers, like, if he's just standing there, he's gonna get ragdolled around the place. So,
I kind of expected them to give him wings like if you've seen the New Mutants, the Archangel in the New Mutants, the way his wings are done, where you can like shoot.
Archangel the New Mutants? I haven't finished this movie yet. Oh, bro. I can't wait.
I'll say less. Wait, what's it, the New Mutant? I'm pretty sure. I can't be 100% positive, but it's in one of the most recent X-Men universe movies.
Yeah, I know the one you're thinking of, where he is that First Class, I think, maybe, where he where he dives out the window and stuff. Is it?
I'm gonna.
It's been so long.
Right now.
Yeah, I haven't seen that in so long. I do love his wings. His wings are amazing.
Yeah, I love his normal wings. I love when he gets his wings like ripped off, so they give him the metal ones. Like Archangel is such a good character, bro.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh my god, I remember like growing up with Archangel being like next to him, like next to Colossus, he was like my favorite X-Men, and 100% because of the wings.
Yeah. Also, amazing scene with Isaiah getting his statue in the museum and stuff. Like that was That was I was choking up watching that one. Like that was epic. Like,
Yeah,
you know, he was just so proud of Sam, like, and all, like, and you know, he's like, now they can never wash you away. Like, you know, that's you're in history now. Which that was an amazing scene. Like, really,
yeah, I didn't see that coming. Where he after they showed Isaiah the first time in the episode, and you know, he saw him on TV. I thought that's where they were gonna leave it.
Yeah.
So him like going back to Baltimore and then bringing him to DC, like just fantastic, like really, really good. And for all the non-American viewers out there, Baltimore is like literally like 30 minutes from DC or something. It's like it's right there, so it kind of makes sense. There wasn't a lot of time.
Yeah.
But
I'm wrong.
it was so good.
X-Men Apocalypse.
Oh, X-Men.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I love that movie, bro.
I wasn't a big fan of that one, to be honest. I think that was kind of... It was that one and the Dark Phoenix. I think they were kind of the final nails in the Fox coffin. Like,
yeah, I think the X-Men movies are kind of like the Thor movies were with me, where it's just like fanboy so hard over it. It's like I look over all the bad stuff. I'm like, whatever.
Yeah.
Like we get to see Archangel on screen. It's fine.
Yeah. That's usually me with Star Wars. That's how I explain the prequel trilogy. But I can't even do that with the sequel trilogy. I'm sorry.
Did the people from Wakanda say that they were taking Zemo to the raft?
Yes,
because I thought I thought they were taking him back to Wakanda.
No.
So when he was on the raft, I was like, "How did?"
My girlfriend made the same mistake. She was like, "Is he not in Wakanda?" I was like, "No, they were saying they were bringing him to the raft." There's definitely going to be some sort of like a prison break in the raft, and you're going to see some pretty cool villains get out.
Bro,
of
I want to see his butler again.
Hell yeah, bro.
Well, the Thunderbolts actually kind of operate kind of like a Suicide Squad thing, where it's like they operate from the raft, and they're like, "We'll knock a couple of years off your stuff if you come do this mission for us."
Oh, so they're like the Suicide Squad of MCU?
Yeah, I don't know who ripped off who, but it's basically like they mirror each other in their ideas.
Yeah, actually, there's like, have you ever Googled like the similarities between DC and Marvel? Like, it's terrifying.
Yes.
It's terrifying. It's straight up copyright, like, you know.
Yeah.
Like I know
in the 70s they were just saying no you.
Like when Stan Lee was originally kind of pitched the idea for Deadpool, he was given like they were like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna call him Wade Wilson," and Stan Lee just like broke his heart laughing and just went, "That don't you mean Slade Wilson?" Like he's like, "This is just Deathstroke." Like, what the fuck? Like, like it was just such a clear ripoff. Because like even in the comic books, like I know they've never really done Deathstroke properly on TV or in the movies or anything, but like in the comic books, he's like a super genius who has like healing abilities. Like, you know, he's exactly like Deadpool. Like Deadpool is a clear ripoff of Deathstroke. Like, it's not even funny.
I've never known that, and I've seen him since like Teen Titans back when I was a kid.
No,
I've never known he was supposed to have healing powers.
In the comic books, he is a badass. Like his single shot like comic book series is like one of my favorites, just because he's been enhanced by the government, so he has like super intelligence and super strength and super healing as well. Like he's amazing. Like, absolutely amazing. Like, I think that if they can do that right, like I know there's all this petitioning for restore the Snyderverse and stuff like that, and your man Joe Magliano, or however you pronounce his surname, he's really pushing for his own HBO series or something, or like the Batman versus Deathstroke movie, like with Ben Affleck, something to happen. And I think if they can do that and do his character like the comic books, I think that would be a really, really massive success.
Yeah, I mean,
Drnkie,
you know, at the very least, I wish they would bring him his Deathstroke character into whatever they're doing with DC. You know, if it's not the Snyderverse, he should at least come, because he looked menacing in that role. He looked menacing in it.
Well, like, you know, they're keeping the same Flash, so, you know.
Which one are you talking about? Which version of Deathstroke?
The one from Snyder Cuts.
So you guys haven't seen Titans yet?
I have, yeah. The Titans version is very accurate as well, but
I like the Titans version.
They don't really, even in the Titans version, they don't really go too deep into his backstory, so you don't know if he has the healing powers or anything like that. Is the point I'm making.
Yeah.
And then like the CW version of him, I love the CW version of him, played by Manu Bennett, who was in Spartacus. Fantastic actor. I actually met him in real life. I got like a pop Funko like signed by him and everything. It's epic. Like, but I love him. He's probably my favorite Deathstroke, just because I was very loyal to the Arrow show back when it first came out. But
You love Arrow, bro.
I do.
I'm here for it.
I do. I love it.
Bitch better have
I love how much you love it. I
honey.
can't stand it, but I love how much you love it.
Seasons 1 to 3 of Arrow are actually amazing. Like, I'm not
They
gonna lie.
were really good, but then just kind of like with the Flash, they started
Yeah.
falling off, man.
Yeah, well, this is it. Like the CW pump a lot of money and a lot of, you know, concentration and like good writing, and you know they get like your man Greg and Jeff Johns and stuff like that from DC are very heavily involved in these shows for the first couple of seasons, and then it's like, okay, it's kind of an autopilot now. We're gonna back off. We're gonna work on the next show, and then you guys kind of, you know, steer the boat from here. Just kind of reference a comic book every now and again, like, you know, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
And it's just terrible. Like, you know, it got. Really
I've
bad.
heard that. It's like they know how much money they're gonna make, how much money they can get out of it.
Yeah.
And they know when it will start dropping off, and like they just start pulling the budget. It's like, all right.
Yeah,
we made
100%. And I think, like, and I'm not just saying this because I'm a fan of those shows, but genuinely, like, if you were to sit down even today and watch the first 2 seasons of Arrow and the first 2 seasons of The Flash, that TV, like the first season of The Flash, I shit you not, is the best Flash you will ever see. Like, it's incredible.
Really until they started doing all the extra I think the second or third time they were like, "Oh, this is Flash from Earth," whatever, and I was like, "I'm over it." My wife kept watching it, and I was like, no.
They go deep into the multiverse in that Flash show for sure. Mm-hmm. And again, season 3 was good. Like, they had like a speedster as the villain from a different universe, and it was cool. It made sense. But then they kind of they went a bit crazy with it, and again, the writing got lazy. They start pulling the CGI budgets for those shows as well. Like, so like even like season 2 looks better than season 6, which makes no sense to me, because like you would think that the CGI would get better over time, but it actually starts getting worse because you can see the fucking budget getting pulled from the show. It seems like in that show anyway, I can't even watch it anymore, and I love it, but I might go back and watch it because Jordan Fisher's going to be in it. Like, I just want to see him as Barrett Allen. I think it'd be really cool. But like,
I think it's like you said, they put it on autopilot, and you can 100%. Just tell, dude.
Yeah, it's gone. But honestly, like, if you're looking for something to watch and you have access to watch the first 2 seasons of The Flash and the first 2 seasons of Arrow, I would 100% do it. And then even if you watch season 3, that was when they started crossing those 2 shows over. And like, it was just so cool to see like Stephen Amell show up on The Flash, and you know, then the way that they shot it was like they'd have like The Flash would be on Wednesday nights on the CW, and then Thursday night would be Arrow, and like you'd start off and he'd be on The Flash, and then the next night it's Arrow's episode, and they just continue on the story, and Barry comes over to his city and all. It was just fucking great. Like, I love, as a fan, you were just sitting there going, "This is epic." Like, I loved it.
Yeah,
that's good TV actually.
It is. It was, and then like even, you know, the CW went as far as bringing Ezra Miller into the show during their biggest cross. They had this crazy crossover event, which was like a big DC comic book called Crisis on Infinite Earths. Again, too far into the multiverse for me, but it was cool to see it. And they actually brought the DCEU, the Snyderverse came into the CW, so it was cool. And it's just been confirmed that Grant, the guy who plays Flash on the TV show, is actually going to appear in the Flash movie. So they're bringing the CW-verse into the movie, which is just crazy to see, because like there's all these people that really, like, there's a lot of people that want to see him play the Flash and not Ezra Miller. The fact that he's actually going to get a shot on the big screen is really cool.
Which one was the guy in the Snyder Cut one?
Ezra Miller.
Oh, I thought he was funny. I when I went into Snyder Cut, because I never saw the original Justice League, I remember saying, "Oh, I kind of hope it's the same Barry Allen from the Flash that I saw." And then when it wasn't, it took me a couple minutes, but I thought he did good. I liked him in it.
He was okay. He wasn't the worst, and he wasn't the best, but he was tolerable. I'm very curious to see how he'll do in his own movie. I think it'll be.
I just feel like Flash is a little cockier than Ezra Miller. He doesn't have the swagger, you know. He doesn't have the walk. He just doesn't. He doesn't embody, I think.
Yeah. I think like Drnkie, you seem like you're a bit of a Flash enthusiast. Like, so I think you should watch the first season of the Flash. Like, seriously, I think you will absolutely like love that show.
We have to do the first 2 because the first season leads to really good.
Yeah.
Well, like even I love Flash because like he's almost the only one hero really in the DC universe that like kind of matches Superman at anything, and so I find that fascinating. But like he only like he runs faster than Superman, but he's able to do like such, you know, clever things with his speed. It's not just like running fast.
Yeah.
And like there's just something
vibrating
about it
the atoms and stuff.
Yeah. I'm like, I love that stuff.
And they do that really well in that show.
They do.
Yeah. It just Okay, so he can get really creative. So I've always enjoyed Flash because it's not just he's not just like he's limited by just having like one ability, right? But he can do so much with that like that creativity, that kind of writing. I just like that's awesome.
I think the whole second season goes into them like trying to discover extra things he can do with his powers as the Flash. It's really you'd really enjoy it.
We got to stop talking about it really because I want to rewatch it.
You're gonna go watch it.
I do. I want to rewatch it. Like it's so fucking good. Like honestly, I can't get over that. Like even there's so many like twists and turns in the story of the first season as well. You don't see coming, and you're like, holy shit, this is good writing. And then it's like all emotional with him and his dad. Like the relationship he has with his dad in that TV show, who was actually the Flash from the '90s TV show. They brought him back to play his father.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Wesley, what's his name? Oh, I can't
Snipes.
No, not Snipes. Whatever his name is, he actually played Barry Allen in the original TV show, and when they went like a bit bonkers with the multiverse, they actually brought him back as Barry.
Himself?
Yes, from the TV show, and then they bring Mark Hamill back because he played the Trickster on that TV show. Mark Hamill comes into the multiverse at one point as the Trickster from '92's show, and you're just like, what? It's crazy.
Was it chubby Mark Hamill though?
Yeah. It was before. It was before he got recast for Star Wars, and they made him lose a lot of weight.
Look, don't get Kyle. Stop. Mark Hamill is enjoying his life. All right.
Mark Hamill can literally do anything he
Bro,
wants. He is.
It's that.
He's
it's
a
that
king
green
amongst.
It's that blue green milk or whatever he was drinking, man. He's got them calories. He's thick.
He can do. He is a king amongst men. He can do what he wants.
Yeah. Did you see his like tweet today or yesterday? About Guardians of the Galaxy. The holiday thing?
Yeah. I have a really bad feeling about this. Because that Star Wars special was freaky. Freaky.
Chef's kiss.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like Captain America. Is there anything left to say about that show, or are we good?
I felt like the thing for me is the made it hard is that it just felt like another gear in the. It felt like another piece of the puzzle and not more significant than any of the other episodes, which is you always come to expect the finale to give you a little bit more, but it was like we said, 51 minutes with the credits and like, I don't know, you just come to expect a little bit more. You could have given me 10 more minutes and had the boat sail, and I would have been a little bit happier than I am now.
Yeah, I am actually surprised nothing happened with the boat. I think someone described this. I was listening to a different podcast, and someone described the show as being kind of like filler for the movies, right? So I think it's done like this on purpose. Like, you know, it's like a DLC. So like we're playing like watching this, we're playing a DLC for Endgame or something like that, where it's just tying up the loose ends and giving us a bit of extra. But it's not important. Like, it's not going to break anyone's like kind of concentration or understanding if they go in to watch Captain America 4. Like, Steve Rogers hands the shield off to Sam and says, you know, you're the next Captain America. If someone doesn't have Disney Plus and doesn't watch the movies, but they like to go to the cinema and they like to see all these Marvel movies in the cinema, they're going to see Captain America 4 start off and Sam walking out and throwing that suit on. They're going to be like, oh, cool, he's Captain America now. They're not going to need to know what happened in that show. And I think... and that's what the shows seem to be coming across. Like, they're not kind of pillars in the MCU. They're kind of just DLCs and like opportunities for characters to get new costumes. Like, that's what it is.
In my honest opinion, I think this show would have stood a lot stronger if they would have done this one and then WandaVision. I think WandaVision either just over-delivered or set the bar too high.
That was meant to be the way. And again, I think
reshoots messed it all up.
Corona messed it up, and reshoots and scheduling and all this sort of thing. Like, you know, if you think about the timeline, how they originally planned everything out, we were meant to have had Black Widow first, then Falcon and the Winter Soldier, then WandaVision, and you know, we were to have seen all of that now, and we probably would be closer maybe to seeing the likes of Spider-Man 3, and I think maybe I'd say even like Doctor Strange 2 would have been finished by now and everything. We're a year behind, and I think the structure of everything is all over the place. And to be fair to Marvel, I think they've really done a good job of like cleaning up the mess when it's completely out of their control. Like, you know, we're in a global pandemic, which is absolutely nothing to do with Kevin Feige or any of the writers or anything, you know what I mean? And I think even all, like, you know, I'm not the biggest fan of the Flag Smasher storyline and the whole Sharon Carter thing, but to be fair, right, you know, given the circumstances, I think they did hit it out of the park, all things considered.
The other option would have been probably to scrap the show altogether.
Yeah,
probably.
like, you know, like, I would not have been surprised if Kevin Feige puts out an official statement or, you know, does some sort of an announcement at a live event saying, look, we had this idea for the show. We didn't think in our right minds that a pandemic would take over the globe when we were filming this, but it happened, and, you know, it's a bit too sensitive, a bit too soon. We're going to have to scrap this show. I would understand, and I think, you know, maybe release it in a couple of years when we're all vaccinated or something like that. But I think, you know, they kind of hit the ground running and put out a show that was very good. It wasn't amazing, but it was very good, and it definitely does leave me open to want more. You know, I'm definitely looking forward to Captain America 4. I want to see more Bucky. I want to see more Sam as Cap. I want to see a lot more John Walker if we can. Like, I think I think for what it was good. I can't really complain too much about it.
Yeah, for me, it's like it's a whole series that, like, there's like two I thought really good episodes. I thought the first episode really good for me, and the second episode or the last episode was really good for me, right? And then in the middle, it just kind of gets really boring because we're stuck on too many boring storylines for too long. It's not moving along fast enough for me. And like you said, we're in a pandemic. They had to do reshoots, rewriting, all this stuff. And I think it just kind of shows up and is subpar TV. And the thing about the MCU is, like, they've always been really fun, always really well done. And as we've gone from phase to phase, it's gotten better and better. And, like, the graphics have been better. The story, I thought, have been better, with, you know, a couple of little things like, you know, Captain Marvel. And we get to this, and it's just like, it felt like a step backwards overall from where the MCU was, in the same way that I felt like WandaVision was a step backwards to where the MCU has been heading. But that being said, I think you're completely right about how they design these things. I think they're supposed to fit into the MCU, kind of like U shapes, you know, like you can stop, you know, go here, drop down, go deep in a story, then come back up, and like Sam's leveled up and now he's Captain America. So if you want to explore that, you can. I appreciate that they dealt with, you know, some pretty heavy topics that they probably had on their minds as Winter Soldier, or I'm sorry, as writers. You know, when they're sitting there and they're like, well, Cap has the shield now. How do we deal with the idea of Captain America being the black man in America? Can they do that in a 2-hour movie? Probably not, right? And so I think it's really good that they can go into like a 6 episode series and kind of explore people like Isaiah Bradley. Like, if this is done in a movie, we don't get Isaiah Bradley. They don't touch on that type of stuff. There's just not enough time to do that in a 2-hour movie. So I like that they can do it. There's just a lot of boring stuff in the show. You know, I think the biggest mistake they did was introducing the power broker. Like, we did not need the power broker at all. Sharon Carter does not feel like the power broker. It doesn't feel right. And that's the worst part of the last episode. Just like her whole deal is like this. It's the worst.
And then one of the extra scenes being her going deeper, like
it's like, hey, we've got access to all this cool new tech now, and she's just like a terrorist, like, you know, sleeper cell.
I think what's going on is pretty much a combination of exactly what Finto said, is like this being a DLC, and then what Mex said and earlier about people having high expectations. I think the reason people have high expectations is because of the bar that's been set, and then at the same time, this is the only MCU that we're getting right now. So we kind of carry those expectations into it. But as long as we keep reminding ourselves that this is just that DLC, like Finto said, I think it keeps you in the right headspace to be prepared for more. But I think there's a lot of people in there that don't even consider this to be a DLC. And I forget it a lot when I'm watching the episode. Like, I sit down to watch and I'm like, oh, yeah, it's Marvel time. And I don't think, oh, yeah, it's DLC time. I think, oh, yeah, let's get some action. And then as I'm let down, you know, by an episode or something, I'm like, that's when I'm reminded, oh, yeah, this is just side quest. This
exactly.
This is the main chapter,
Yeah, exactly.
Our expectations high, though. Like, just because it's on television, like, we've had, like, Game of Thrones and stuff. Yeah, like, what if this stuff was, like, a Game of Thrones level episode where, like, the writing is so good, the dialogue is good, you're on, like, the edge of your seat waiting to see what you know, Tyrion's going to say next or whatever. Like, what new plot is going to develop? Like, Like I feel like there's really good TV that can be made.
Yeah.
And it just feels like average
You have stuff
TV.
like The Boys out there right now, which has superpowers and stuff, and look how good they do. Yeah, so I definitely agree too.
I think I like, you know, if you were to watch that show and, you know, not have the movie universe, that show would be like a really good show. Now, is it as good as Game of Thrones? Probably not. But like, you know, I think if they're in that space a lot more, like I really feel like we're gonna really get higher quality Disney as we go on. Like I think they're testing the waters. I think they're going to start getting better TV writers in from like some of the bigger companies and stuff like that. Like I think it's very obvious in these, like in that show, especially as it went on, like the dialogue is not like up to par, and I just don't think they don't have these good like movie writers in there doing this sort of thing. And I think as it begins to grow more, I think they're going to put a lot more into it. I think the show was a pretty big success, considering it seems like they didn't even advertise the show at all. There was no marketing for it done whatsoever. I didn't see any ads, like nothing was pushed to me, like sponsored ads. And like I get sponsored ads for fucking everything. There was no sponsored ads. I didn't see any spoilers. It feels like, again, I said this last week, it feels like no one was watching this show.
This was the only time on Disney Plus it got a full tile on the top, was for it to say, oh, you can watch every episode now.
Yeah.
But like, they even on Disney, yeah,
it's crazy. Like I think it's crazy that, you know, I was able to flick around all of the social media apps today and I didn't get any spoilers for the show, and that's been every week with this. So I don't know if people are just like waiting until it's finished to binge it or something, but there's not the same kind of hype that there was for The Mandalorian. Like I knew with The Mandalorian, when that was out and it was like a day that I had to work and I couldn't watch the episode, I had to put my phone on the other side of the room, like nearly, like, you know, I had to like stay away from my phone. I couldn't go anywhere near it. To be honest, Circa DM'd me last night and said, have you seen the suit? And I said no, and I said, look, I don't want to see it. And to be fair, I saw one, I think I was on TikTok or something like that, and I saw one little like clip of him coming through one of the windows, and I quickly flicked off it. So I kind of did get it spoiled on me a little bit, but it was tiny. Like, you know, I wasn't seeing any of the plots, like, or storylines. Like if you think about it, if this was at the same level as Mandalorian, the internet this morning would have been absolutely full of everybody saying Sharon Carter is the broker, is the whatever his name is. I think Power Broker would have been like Sharon Carter is Power Broker, and it would have been spoiled everywhere. I didn't see one post about that, like, anywhere.
I'm honestly shocked that they didn't bring anyone else in. Like, you know, in The Mandalorian, you know, you get Ahsoka, you get Luke showing up, and like they don't bring anyone in for a cameo in this that's not in a part of the show. That felt wild, except for, I guess, Madam Hydra, I guess, but
you know, Wakandan people.
But like we don't get any, like, you know, Ant-Man not showing. Like Ant-Man could have showed up easily in this show.
I was even
Nick
thinking,
Fury.
How hard would it be, right, for that final episode to have Spider-Man swing in for 2 minutes? Like, get Tom Holland for a day. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, you know,
they
couldn't even get the boat to sail. How are they going to get Spider-Man to come?
I've been thinking about that a lot, and I think, you know, part of me was thinking, like, because I heard rumors that Chris Evans was on the set of the show, and I believe he actually did go down there to watch it be filmed. Like, why the fuck did he not throw the old makeup on and just show up and, like, even just, like, you know, have a sly word with the lads to the side?
Just do it like a Stanley cameo where he's just like, oh,
like, what? I just don't understand how they didn't do it. And again, I think it's, you know, like, I believe that Doctor Strange was meant to be in WandaVision, and I think it was just due to COVID that he couldn't do it. And I would not be surprised if we found out that there was meant to be a cameo in this by maybe Chadwick Boseman or something like that, and obviously that couldn't have happened. But yeah, I don't know. I was like, really expecting
could have been the one to bring the wings or something like that. You know, like they could do stuff like that.
Yeah.
It just that's what to me has been really fun about the MCU ever since the end credit scene from Iron Man. is you start to see these other big characters like just show up, like
at the end of
Doctor
Iron Man,
Strange,
end of Iron Man
Thor.
2, when like the Thor's hammer is just sitting in the thing at the end, and you're like, what? And then you just know you have to wait a year, but then we're getting a Thor movie. Like, it was just, those were like amazing times, like, for sure.
It just feels like these shows are too siloed off. They don't feel interconnected. Besides them just being plunked into like the general story of the MCU, but.
Sorry, Sir just said in the chat there. Sorry, he's like, the Avengers are like 2 seconds up the road. They're just like North New York, aren't they? Like, they could have easily swung down. That's another thing. Like, I wonder, like, this mad shit's happening in New York City. Like, does nobody take the call? Like, is there no Avengers left? Like, what the fuck is going on with the Avengers? Like,
I think Max made a good point. He said no one mentioned that. Danny Ramirez being the next Falcon. I think they could have dropped all of the power broker stuff and built him up more.
I think we're again
like
in the movie. In the movie, I really think we're gonna have him as he'll play the role of Falcon in Captain America 4. So it'll be Cap and the Wingman, and then it'll be like Winter Soldier, who I think will probably become White Wolf and go off to Thunderbolts. I think that's where that's gonna go. Would be my early prediction.
More development here while they have the opportunity instead of power broker.
Yeah.
Agent Carter stuff.
Yeah. I fully agree.
Yeah. It just, I don't know. It's like, why? I guess introduce them and stuff, and maybe they're just saving them for something later.
Movie contracts didn't include TV spots. Yeah, true. Yeah.
True.
Yeah. I don't know if it's as simple as that, because I did hear, like, even back when Charlie Cox signed his contract for Daredevil, he had movie clauses in that. Like, so they even knew back then that, like, it's all a possibility.
Would it be, do you think, like a money thing? Like, they just want too much money to cameo type thing?
I genuinely believe that it's a COVID thing. I just think it'd be too difficult for people to travel, especially like someone like Tom Holland, who's probably, I know they did a lot of Spider-Man, they only just finished shooting it. So this show was shot like last year, and then they kind of changed the script around kind of mid COVID. So I think maybe, like, people aren't just available, or they're working on other stuff. Like, I know Tom Holland's actually very busy at the moment. Like, he's doing lots of movies. Like, he did Uncharted, he did Spider-Man 3 and 4 rumored, that they did a back-to-back shooting for that.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah, like, that makes sense to me. Like, why not, like, take an extra 6 months and do 2 movies in one, and then you can release them 1 year after the other. You just work on the 2 of them at the same time, like kind of the way they used to do it with the Lord of the Rings, right? They shot that whole thing in one go, and then they just released it 3 years consecutively, 3 years at Christmas time or whatever. Like, and that's the way they should be. That's the way they definitely should be doing it, especially with something so connected like the MCU. Like why wouldn't they? That makes a lot of sense to me. But yeah.
I'm just really happy they let Sam have moments. My biggest problem, I swear, it's like this entire show, Sam has not been able to solve a goddamn problem by himself. And now he's the one where everyone else is helpless, and he's the one that can come in and rescue. Like, I think it was Drnkie in chat talked about how he shows up and is able to stop the truck from falling. He's got the Red Wings on the side, and it's everything. Like, it's him solving the problem by himself where other people couldn't.
That was very Tony Stark as well. That scene, because
when
the little like boosters or whatever stuck to the bonnet of the thing, because I was thinking, like, there's no way he's going to be able to lift that thing by himself, obviously. Even with a jetpack, like.
When he did the first turtle move, that was one of my favorite parts in the show. When he covered the wings down, put the shield above his head, I was like,
it's bad. It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's like when Captain America picks up Thor's hammer. It's like the combo. So many options just like open up. So now that he's got the shield and the wings, and he knows how to use them together. It's like, where else can they go? What else can they put in the suit? Like, now that he's got that technology, they purposely don't, they're like, oh yeah, I can have anything. So the writers of the next Captain America movie be like, and it's also got a laser beam. Like, I'm excited for that.
Did they ever even use Red Wing in the movies?
He scouts around.
He does, yeah. Because even I think it was Civil War. Do you remember at the very start of Civil War, he's scanning like the garbage trucks and stuff like that to see what's it called? Oh my god, the weight of it and stuff, that they said that they were going to ram the embassy and stuff like that. Do you remember in Civil War? Yeah, Red Wing definitely was around. But like,
and like
Not for that long.
I was laughing about what Kitchen said there. He said reflected a Fukin helicopter.
Oh, bro.
I mean, he's for sure like full vibranium now. Like, I think we were kind of like, are his wings made out of vibranium? Like, now it's like pretty much assumed. Like, came from Wakanda, you know.
Anything coming from Wakanda is vibranium, like, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
100%.
So.
Which means I expect more out of Red Wing now. Or Wakanda and Red Wing, I expect more. That's all I'm saying.
Red Wing is indestructible now, right?
Yeah.
And because it's got Wakanda tech, unhackable now as well.
How about when he came out of the water? How about when he first went down the water and came out of the water in a spiral? Oh.
Yeah. I thought when he hit the water, I was like, oh god, come on, Sam, for fuck's sake, get it together, kid. And then he comes shooting out. I was like, okay, he's got this. Yeah. Tom Holland will spoil it. He does spoil everything. I genuinely think that like there's probably big secrets going on in the Spider-Man movies that Tom Holland still doesn't know about. Because
Tom Holland probably signs NDAs worth more than his contract.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, if you spoil anything, we're just gonna take all the money we paid you. Like, all right.
Yeah. He's like, fuck, I can't lose my entire purse for this movie. Did you see in slightly other news, they confirmed that Charlie Cox will be coming back as Daredevil, but they've confirmed now that the Netflix universe is an alternate universe. So
yeah.
They're going to be the same characters, but they're going to have slightly different backstories. So it will be Charlie Cox as Daredevil with probably a better suit, but you know, he won't talk about fighting the Hand because he probably had a slightly different kind of upbringing on her 616. But same with Jessica Jones is confirmed to come back as well.
She's in She-Hulk, right?
She's going to be in She-Hulk, yeah, and I think she's going to be in what else? Oh my god, she might be in something else as well. I can't remember.
I hated the Jessica Jones shows. I'm sorry.
Oh, bro, season 1 of Jessica Jones was incredible.
Bro, you don't think the second half of the first season is just them redoing the first half of the second or the first season? They literally do like a story arc, and then they repeat the same story in the same season. They do the same deal.
I don't know. I'm glad they made the official break because I'm not the biggest fan of the Netflix MCU.
I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I love it.
Exactly.
I only rewatched like all of the Daredevil stuff, and it's incredible. I love it. I love that the actors are being brought in. I think it's great, and we're getting Kingpin as well. Kingpin confirmed.
Kingpin, dude, if he plays Kingpin in like the actual MCU and they can do him like bigger,
yes.
Oh my god, dude,
it's coming. It's confirmed. It is confirmed.
I really hope they do like great. I don't know. I hope they bring some of the cinematography from Falcon over into the MCU, because I'm sorry, but that scene where Bucky is after, like, he goes to talk to the old man, right? Then he leaves, and he sees the old man through the glass pane, and they really show the glass pane like being a barrier between him and like this other life that he wishes he could have. I love that shit, and I hope they, you know, when it sparks it because the person who played Kingpin is such a fantastic actor. I hope they're able to do stuff like that, where like they bring these big moments with these big actors. That is more than just them being like superheroes or supervillains. They're just like, you know, big moving moments on their own.
Yeah. No, it's very exciting hearing this for me, like, because obviously I love Punisher as well. I like how John Barenthal or whatever his name is. I love how he played him. Love Charlie Cox. I can't picture anybody else playing Daredevil. And I like your one as Jessica Jones as well.
Without Punisher, we wouldn't have the Frank Castle. So
exactly, fantastic. You know what I mean? So I'm 100% in for all of this.
How long are we waiting for Loki? Is it
Loki's
June?
June, I think.
Yeah,
mid-June, and then Black Widow in July, and then Shang-Chi in September, and then Spider-Man in December. Like, it's a jam-packed year, to be fair. Like, they are definitely making up for lost time.
Eternals
as well, yeah. Sorry, I forgot. That's in November, is it? Is that November?
I think it's November. I forget the exact month, but it's in the fall.
Yeah.
Does you have a pack schedule too, or are they not putting out very much content?
Who?
I haven't. DC. I haven't.
Movie wise, no. There's a lot of stuff in development. Obviously, they've just started shooting The Flash. They've got Aquaman 2 in development. They've got Shazam is starting shooting soon. The Rock's been kind of plugging that a lot lately.
Second, other Shazam or
sorry?
Is it an actual Shazam 2 or is it a remake?
No, it's his own Black Adam movie. He's getting his own movie as Black Adam, and then I think that'll tie in then to Shazam 2. which will be cool. Like, I know he's absolutely campaigning to get Henry Cavill his own movie, and like he wants him back for Man of Steel 2, and then he wants to he's only doing it because he wants to fight him. He loves him as Superman and he wants to fight him as Black Adam, like. And I love that shit, like, you know. The Rock is amazing, and I think
The Rock's
like,
a savage.
he's like, if we get Henry Cavill back, he's like, I will 100% produce that movie. Like, he's fully behind it. He wants, like, he's like, I'll put my name on Man of Steel 2 if I can fight him in Black Adam, like, you know. So I love that sort of shit, you know, because like you can just tell that he's a fan of the content, you know.
Yeah. Well, here's my conspiracy with Henry Cavill, or what I would love to see happen, because we got the news that Russell Crowe being cast as Zeus.
Yes. Yeah.
In Thor: Love and Thunder.
Yes.
So first off, all gods must die. It's gonna be a great story. I can't believe they're telling that story. So probably gonna be the end of Thor. It's probably gonna be the last Thor movie. But with Zeus coming, that means old Hercules can come on. Like, he's part of the MCU. Like, he's kind of canon then, right?
Yes.
And who better to play Hercules than Henry Cavill?
True.
What a great cast. Like, he's got the build, he's got the look, he's got the curly hair and stuff when they do it up, you know?
Yeah.
Like, he could play Herc, man. Like, how many other like really big muscular actors are there that can actually like act, you know?
True. Yeah. Yeah, big time. I think there's been a lot of like kind of speculation about Captain Britain as well, though, right? Or whatever his name is. So I think like
Captain Britain would be good.
If they
I would like
Henry
to see him as
Cavill
Union
better
Jack.
play Adam Warlock, Mick says.
Henry Cavill
you
Like
want
Adam Warlock?
Yeah, wasn't Warlock mentioned in Guardians 2?
Isn't Warlock like one of the most isn't he like the most powerful MCU character of all time?
Ooh, I don't know about that. He might be. He's up there. He's like, you know, he's up there, top 5.
I heard that's why he hadn't been introduced so far yet, is because he's too strong for MCU.
They had him like basically his casket, so to speak, in Guardians.
Yeah.
Where all the gold people were.
I think
But
I saw an article as well mentioning something about a character coming to the MCU that could have beaten Thanos by himself, sort of thing. Like, so I wouldn't be surprised if that is like Adam Warlock or
Captain Marvel 2, Finto, come on.
Yeah. What do we think?
Maybe that's why they had to wait for him. Yeah.
What do we think of Emilia Clarke getting Secret Invasion?
I'm like, I have to go back and watch Solo because like knee jerk, I'm like, oh man, like she's not that great of an actress. But then you're like, you mentioned Solo, and I was like, oh, okay, like maybe I have to go back and rewatch Solo.
Yeah, like I don't think she was that bad in it, and I think she was in the first couple of seasons of Game of Thrones. She was good. I think Game of Thrones itself went to shit for the last 2 seasons, and I really can't blame her for everything that happened in the end of the show. And I think that's maybe where people are kind of holding the grudge against her as an actress, is down to like those last 2 seasons of Game of Thrones. And I just think, you know, she was directed a certain way and given lines to read and so on. And I don't know, I remember watching Solo and I remember thinking she was good in it. I don't remember like thinking she's shit or anything, you know.
Yeah, I might be wrong.
I watched that. She was really bad in that Terminator movie, but again, that was shit though as well. So like, again, I can't blame her for a shit movie. Really,
I'll blame her for it.
Arnie never fails.
Did they mention who she got cast as? Or is she just cast?
She's cast, but they haven't said who she's going to be yet. But
gotcha.
Like Samuel L. is like confirmed for that show and everything. Like, and I think that one's going to be a really good one.
That's crazy, bro.
Yeah, like it's gonna, like, that show is gonna directly lead into Captain Marvel 2. They've confirmed that. So like I think that's gonna be like a prelogue to Captain Marvel 2. Like, we're gonna watch that show and then Captain Marvel 2 is gonna hit the theaters. I think that's the way they're planning that. So I think that's the way they should be doing these shows, I think. And I think a lot of people give like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. the show shit because it was like a pretty bad show, but I watched when it when the show first came out, though, it was directly tied to the MCU, and I thought it was a really clever way of doing it. Like, I don't know if you ever watched the show, but like Samuel L. Jackson appears in the second episode of the show, and like, if you haven't watched the show, if anybody hasn't watched the show, big spoiler, Agent Coulson is actually alive. They bring him back to life using like alien tech, so he's actually been alive the entire time. Like, obviously they used his death to bring together the Avengers, but like straight after that movie he's actually revived and brought back to life using alien tech, and the show goes on with him. and he's leading up Secret Division in Shield, and it was a really cool storyline. The end of season 2 happens, and basically they have this big story arc in the show, and the very last thing that they do in the show is they actually uncover Loki's staff at the Sokovian base, and they're like, shit, we better call the Avengers, this is too big for us. And then the Avengers, like Age of Ultron, starts. It was literally the next day. It was so well done.
That's how I like shows to lead into movies.
Yeah, and I think that's what Disney should be doing, and maybe that's the plan in the future, but they're not really doing it right. Like, they're not really... I suppose after the pandemic and everything, I suppose they really need to be kind of filling us full of content to catch up, but I think if you do something like Secret Invasion, and you have the season finale of Secret Invasion, and then the next Friday you have Captain Marvel 2 releasing in theaters, I just think it's like, you know, everything's connected. It's
when you say that
so much more.
When you say they're doing it in a DLC style, that's the thing that I think they should be shooting for, is like you said, leading up to it to where, but when they're doing it this way where it's like, you can watch it, you can not. If you want to learn more, you can watch it. Like, that's just less intriguing than, like you said, the next day from the end of that show is Age of Ultron. Like, that's the kind of stuff that drives people to watch it.
Yeah, big time. And I think, like, the first couple of seasons of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I can't remember, like, the kind of numbers they were pulling, but they were doing good ratings on, I think it was CBS, and, like, I just remember, like, I watched that season finale of the show, and the next day I was in the cinema watching Age of Ultron, and I just remember thinking, holy shit, this is incredible. Yeah. And I don't think very many people, like, I remember thinking to myself, I was sitting in the cinema going, I don't think very many people in this theater right now know the story that leads up to them, like, storming that base, you know? And I just thought the way that was done was really fucking cool. And
it made you appreciate the movie and the show both more.
Exactly. But then they and I think where the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. show failed was they stopped that connection to the movies. They kind of kept it going during the Winter Soldier movie. That was the storyline kind of broke where, you know, Hydra had infiltrated, and in the TV show they were like, hang on a second, Hydra's infiltrated us, and then they kind of broke off into their own little division of S.H.I.E.L.D., which I thought was kind of cool, because it was like, again, the effects of that movie led into, like, the season, which was really sweet. So they're like, hang on a second, Steve Rogers has just said to people that, you know, Hydra have infiltrated, and then they kind of had to go out on their own. I thought that was really cool, but that was kind of the end of it, because they kind of messed up the storyline, I think, where they went into the future. Something really bizarre happened. Like, they got, like, picked up and sent into space and sent into the future. It was fucking weird. But then they found out that it was the Kree who did it. So then I suppose they're kind of mentioning the Kree in time for Guardians of the Galaxy with Ronan and stuff, but they were way in the future and stuff like that. Like, so it got it got really fucking weird. But the show, like, the first couple of seasons, if you're watching them, like, in the timeline, like, as I was watching them live, it was really cool. But they kind of lost the magic a bit, and I just hope that Disney pick it up, because it's easy fucking money. Yeah. Easy money.
Yeah, I don't know. I think, like, they are missing something like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. on Disney Plus, probably. It'll be nice to see what they do when they don't have, like, their main MCU actors inside of one of their shows. I think this is what they're doing with, like, U.S. Agent, probably the Power Broker.
Captain Rambo, maybe?
Yeah, Captain Rambo, where, like, they're setting up characters who are going to operate within the Disney Plus MCU, who can show up in a movie, but they can do big moments with them, big, kind of shifts with those characters without affecting too much. Because it's like, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. is cool because, like, it leads up to something. It references it. It's important, but they got, like, their stuff going on too. Yeah. Versus this, where it's just been, like, DLCs, little add-ons, like, oh, how do they power up,
Well,
like,
imagine this, right? Imagine if we were watching the last episode of Falcon and the Winter Soldier today, and we were all going to see Captain America 4 tomorrow. That'd be pretty fucking sweet, That would be cool. Yeah. Obviously the timelines don't work right now, but if you could imagine that, like, that would be crazy, like, crazy.
At this point, I just want the White Wolf to get his own movie.
The White Wolf.
I think, like, the whole Chadwick Boseman thing is very, very, like, sensitive. But could you imagine if they replaced the scene where Bucky walks around down that alleyway? Like, imagine if it was just somebody else wearing the Black Panther suit and were to, like, think that it was T'Challa, like. I think it's a bit too sensitive, real world wise, but that would have popped off in the show. Even just there for a minute, and he shows up. Where's Zemo? And then maybe it's like has a couple of quick lines, and it's like, oh yeah, we have him, and it's like, all right, I'll send the Dora Milaje to get him or something like that. It's a 1 minute cameo, and it would just make that show pop.
Yeah. Even just him walk up and sit down instead of Bucky handing the case that had the new suit in it. Even just him doing it like
something like that. Like
like, don't mess this one up or something. Just like a one line.
Yeah, big time. Like that stuff like that has like really, really powerful like marketing appeal. Everything like like all the comic book sites, everything would have blown up. Holy shit! Cameo from fucking Black Panther in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Like I just think it's again probably a little too sensitive, but it's an easy win, and you could get away with it. Him in a costume, you don't even need to see his face. He doesn't even have to say anything. He could just show up. And just have the claws out, and it's just standing there. He doesn't even have to say anything. You can kind of fucking, if I was watching that, like, I'd be fucking pulling lines out of my head. Like, I'd be trying to fill that myself,
I see why they can't do it, and I don't, I don't think I'd want them to, but, like, Black Panther being there in that moment makes that 10 times better, 100%.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the cameo you were looking for, too.
Right.
Yeah.
But, like,
it's the guy who killed his father, like,
in that fucking movie. Like they could have had I'm sorry I forget her name, but the lady who played Michonne could have been the one to show up. Shuri could have been the one to show up.
Yeah.
They send like a Dora Milaje lady who like we do see and is like kind of a background character is kind of important, but it's not like an important character, in terms of the main stories.
Yeah.
And I wish it was someone a little bit more important. Maybe the CIA agent. What's that dude? If he showed up in this, hey, we're looking for the power broker, like what's going on here? Like there's bigger actors that they can pull into this stuff.
Yeah. And I wonder now with the next shows, will they start doing that? I think with whatever's going to be made next, I think they hit it harder, especially after, like obviously most of this show was shot before the pandemic. So, you know what I mean? It's not like they're reacting to the news and the reviews of WandaVision. I think now is the time where they go back to the drawing board. Okay, here's where we failed with this. Everyone wanted to see Doctor Strange in WandaVision. Everyone wanted to see Mephisto. Okay, we need to go bigger with characters in these shows. And I think we need to pump a bit of extra money into it. And, if you get Spider-Man showing up in Falcon and the Winter Soldier season 2 or something, like say they do a second season and you get Tom Holland showing up for one fucking day, it wouldn't cost that much money. You could even use a stunt double for 90% of it and just have him whip the mask off, say a couple of lines in one day, and boom, it's done. I just think that hits so hard. You have everyone on the internet talking about how fucking Steve Rogers showed up in Secret Invasion or some shit, or like after Doctor Strange 2, we've got the multiverse now, so you know what I mean, you do a TV show and they pluck a different version of fucking Tony Stark out of somewhere, like, and it's it's him in the suit. They use old lines, they just chop it up using fucking audio technology, like, you don't even need to get Robert Downey Jr. anymore, but you have Iron Man show up like Tony Stark, he doesn't get out of the suit, you just know it's him, and shit like that just works. It's comic book stuff, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't need to make 100% sense, but you have shit like that pop off and the show is just monster.
I think you mentioned it a week or two ago, but I think with Loki, because it's being the going like time travel and multiverse thing, I think they're gonna have a lot more freedom. So if they don't do that when they have the freedom, is that much freedom to do it the way they will, then that's gonna kind of show us. I don't know if it was all filmed.
It's again, that show's done as well, like, so I think they haven't learned from the initial fan response from this stuff. Like, obviously they've got Owen Wilson in there, he's a big actor, so do they have room to bring Chris Hemsworth in for a day and shoot a scene? Like, I know in the trailer he talks about how he's trying to summon the Bifrost, and he's saying like, brother, you better hear my call and stuff like that. So I presume, and you see the Bifrost pick him up, so is he going to go back to somewhere? Like, is this set after like, is there a different version of Asgard still around and then Thor's there, or are they going to have, is this going to set place after Endgame and Asgard's on Earth now and Loki gets sucked back to Earth? I don't know, but I would presume in that show, and again, I suppose we say this about them all, but I presume that show, you really feel like you're going to get like either Idris Elba appear somewhere, or you're going to get Chris Hemsworth showing up for even a very small cameo.
Yeah.
You know? And I think if we don't get an Avenger cameo there, I don't know what to say about these shows, because that's definitely the one where it's easy to do it. Yep. And, you know,
I'm shocked if Thor doesn't show up for a little bit. I'm shocked. Literally, Loki's story is tied to Thor. Like,
exactly.
Him
He's
being
his
a
fucking
brother.
brother.
Yeah.
How's the other Hemsworth brother not in the MCU yet?
I just think I think he looks too much like his brother. I think it would just be weird to have him in there.
Exactly.
Like, as in, does he play some sort of character related to Thor?
Dom Toretto just took 9 movies to find his long lost brother. Let's get Thor's long lost brother. Let's go.
If they do the Thor, Odin Thor or whatever storyline, it's like there's a young Thor part. Like,
yeah, maybe, yeah. Kitchen says in the chat there, what if Bucky is the next Black Panther? I think they have confirmed that Black Panther is going to be female, most likely his sister.
Well, yeah, there's not a chance that Bucky's Black Panther.
That'd be a cool flip, though, wouldn't it? Like, if you think about it, like, he's a black character, they flip it to a white guy, like, you know, that'd be kind of like a really crazy flip. Like, you know, obviously they're trying to bring it
on. Work out for him.
He shows up in the white wolf costume. He's like, I'm thinking an upgrade, and walks over to the Black Panther costume.
I don't know if they're gonna actually. Are they actually gonna use the mantle of Black Panther? Or I thought they said that they're also retiring the mantle of Black Panther.
Well, I know that there's Black Panther 2 is like in production, the movie, so
yeah, true.
Maybe during that film they also retire the mantle, but
didn't the mantle pass a lot in the comics though? So I mean, it's not, even though it's out of respect of Chadwick, if that's what they're doing. I mean, it's not out of character to pass it.
They did say that they were retiring T'Challa. So they weren't recasting T'Challa. So I don't think they mean that they're actually retiring the Black Panther. I think that mantle passes on, and I believe it passes on to his sister, as far as I understand. But
that's what I hope.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense, and then it kind of ties in then with what the MCU are trying to do with a lot of these female-led movies as well. It kind of like an unfortunate circumstance, but again, a good opportunity to have a very strong female-led movie. Like, you know, we all know that Chris Hemsworth's contract is coming to an end, and we're getting Jane Foster as the next fucking Thor. Like, again, I don't know how I feel about this. I don't really want to talk about it, but
she's yoked.
She is. She's looking jacked. I'm jealous of her arms, but at the same time, I don't like, you know, Natalie Portman will always have a special place in my heart just due to Padme and fucking Star
I'm surprised they're even bringing her back, because I thought she was never going to be a part of it again after whatever. Just, I don't even know the exact dispute between the first one, but I was surprised to see she was coming back.
She did have some. Yeah,
Jenkins was directing the second Thor, and they canned her as a director for whatever reason, and so Natalie Portman said, "Well, she's not the director. I'm out."
And then that's been like 10 years now, so they're cool.
Yeah. It was for the third one, right? The third movie, I think.
Yeah.
And that's then, yeah. She's like, I'm not going to be part of this if it's not.
I love that they just wrote her out so easy. It was like, yeah, we broke up, and that was it. No mention of her again. And now she's coming back.
And then Fat Thor's there, and he's like, oh, there she is.
Oh, yeah. I used to go out with her.
I used to be skinny. I used to be able to pull girls like that, man, when I wasn't fat.
He's gonna be so jacked up now again, like, for the next movie for sure.
He's got his long hair back for the next movie too, which is exciting.
Yeah, like that. I'm wondering now, like, when does that movie take place? Like, you know,
I liked shorter hair Thor though.
He did look cool, yeah. I love Ragnarok so much. Ragnarok's such a great movie.
I want short hair.
It's one of the best action movies ever made.
Yeah, I love it so much. I love it. He's like, do not touch my hair. Oh, by Odin's beard and all, you will not touch my hair. And it's like,
I love when he's just it's such an easy line to pick, but like, hey, we work together. Like,
yeah. That film is just so good. Like, the comedy in it is just incredible.
Did you ever hear the story behind that line? Him saying that?
Nah.
So there was a kid there who was on like a Make-A-Wish thing. And like he's like, what if Thor just said that's a friend from work, and they used the line in the movie. It's like the best line in the whole movie.
Make-A-Wish kid did that? That's awesome.
That's so cool.
What do you guys think of Shang-Chi, the trailer?
Hell yeah.
Woo!
Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet. I'm just going into like Shang-Chi's everything. I'm blind. Everything. Like I watched the Origins video from a guy that does Comics Explained YouTube series, and apparently he started when like Enter the Dragon first came out. And we had a huge kung fu bust, and then they lost the rights. And there was like I was learning about all that, how he used to be Fu Manchu, and then all that craziness. So I'm still kind of confused on this whole thing. I can't say that like I grew up on him or I'm super hyped, but
I don't know. I don't know much myself. I do know his dad is the actual Mandarin, and like the 10 rings in the comic books are more powerful than the Infinity Stones. So I don't know, does that tie into the whole kind of next phase where, you know, again, they're trying to tease that there's going to be characters coming in that could beat Thanos by themselves. Maybe
I don't think they're stronger.
I think in the comic books they're meant to be, apparently, from stuff that I read, but I don't know.
Okay. Because like the Infinity Stones literally like are what create reality and life and like the universe, and they have more powers, right? There's like 10 rings, and they each have a unique power that's like
it's all alien,
not as
right?
cool as the.
It's all like all the 10 rings are alien. Like it's alien. It's alien tech. Yeah.
Interesting, and like kind of makes sense because they're actually supposed to be like rings on the finger, right? And it looks like that they're actually going to be rings that go up the arm from what I've seen.
Yeah.
So like I guess I get it, but that was an interesting choice. I don't think the main guy he doesn't look like he's a superhero. He looks more of like an Ant-Man character than like an actual like a kung fu dude that's like I'm gonna fucking like destroy everybody.
I think that's like I kind of like that in a sense because I think that's where they're going to be going, you know, from what I understand from the trailer. Again, I don't know much of the backstories and stuff, but it feels like, you know, he finds out that his dad is the Mandarin. He's this big like criminal, and it's a criminal organization. So he's like, fuck that, I'm moving to San Francisco or whatever, like, you know. And he's trying to just be a normal dude, living a normal life, and then you find out that he's just this like ninja master. Like, so I kind of like that he kind of just looks like a normal dude. I think it'll kind of hit harder when he just starts fucking people up, like, and I don't know if he's going to get the 10 rings himself. I don't really know, like, does he inherit the rings? I don't know how it works. Again, I'm going in brand new. I'm a baby to the storyline, and I kind of want to stay. I want to stay that way. There's not very many Marvel movies that I can kind of watch as a kind of regular fan, and I think that one I'm gonna really try to stay as blind as I can, if that makes sense. Like, obviously, I'm gonna watch like. Kind of like I'll still watch like some of the creators that I watch, like, and I'm sure they'll kind of go into in-depth stuff like new rock stars and stuff like that, but I'm not gonna buy any comic books. I'm not gonna go deep into the history, I don't think so. I'm gonna try and be as new as I can.
I'm excited because I thought the suit looked awesome.
Yo, Cookie, what's up?
Someone ruined Marvel suits for me. Someone told me that like every Marvel suit, like costume wise, is just a vest, and ever since I got told that, it's like everything's been ruined. So like now I like every character just is wearing a vest, and then like their big arms behind it. So I see that, I'm like, it looks cool, but I can't stop looking at this fucking vest.
Do you mean like CGI wise, or just actual vest?
It's an actual vest. Like,
have you ever seen any of the behind the scenes stuff of like Tom Holland and Robert Downey Jr. shooting stuff? Like they're wearing tracksuits, and they just have like the smallest like little bit of the suit on their like chest plate, and the rest of it's all CGI. Like, I understand Iron Man, but even like Tom Holland's not wearing a Spider-Man suit for most of it. Like, you know, it's all CGI. Like, so stuff like that like hurts my soul when I see that.
You try to make flexible metal, Finto. Grow up.
Finto.
He's got flexible space metal.
Bro, Disney are $1 billion, tens of billions. Like, come on, bro. If anyone can do it, they can.
Well, they didn't get that by throwing out all that money.
Exactly. How are they going to stay that way, Finto? Making your real metal flexible suits.
True. But yeah, like Shang-Chi, I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah,
like that trailer like got me hyped.
Yeah, it's a great trailer, man. I feel like Shang-Chi, out of all these other ones, it's like an eternal. It's like this is going to be the next phase of Marvel. They're introducing brand new characters, and how is it going to land? Is it not going to land? Like, I think the success of this really determines like how good the next phase of the Marvel movies are going to be.
Yeah,
for
for sure.
Because you have to build hype now. Like, you have to have some sort of crazy banger of a movie to get people even to go to the theaters at this point. So
Yeah,
it better be nice.
for sure.
We need the story behind why Hulk was in space where he meets Thor there. Also,
Did they give us that?
Beta Ray Bill, not Thor. I don't know. But yeah, like that was when he left after Ultron, right? And then
Yeah, like the
he
ship
ends,
just kept going.
he ends up on Planet Hulk or whatever. That was the comic storyline. But
Look, Tony put a hyperdrive space thing on that ship, and it
all
lasted.
good.
It went all the
good.
way.
It's all good.
Made it.
Those
That makes
Quinjets.
sense.
Those
Why
Quinjets
are we gonna
are
start doubting Tony
beast.
now?
Those Quinjets are beast. Oh my god, what else? Hang on. I think I gotta get better at I keep seeing things during the week and I keep thinking to myself I want to talk about this on Friday and then I forget about it when it comes to Friday, so I gotta start taking notes during the week. One thing I did that did happen during the week was not Marvel related, but Keaton actually confirmed to be coming back as Batman. I don't know if you actually heard or read about that story. So he initially got offered
Like Batman
role.
Beyond type thing?
Yes, this is confirmed. This is confirmed, bro.
Yes, Batman Beyond. I've been waiting for a movie for so long,
I don't-
man.
Are
This
they
is
doing-
coming. It's
Are they doing Batman Beyond?
so what they're doing is in the Flash movie, Flash is going to go to an alternate universe where it's going to be Old Man Bruce as Michael Keaton, and apparently what's going to happen is there's going to be some sort of event in that movie because Ben Affleck is in that film as well. So I don't know if maybe Ben Affleck's Batman dies and Flash brings back Michael Keaton into our timeline and trains up a new Batman, and that could be, I don't know if it's going to be Pattinson. That doesn't really make any sense, but if it would, it's going to be, he's going to train up whatever the Batman Beyond's name is. So yeah, it's all in there. I thought I was reading an interview with Michael Keaton, and he had said in the interview, he was asked about the Flash, and he was like the most like relaxed comment I've ever heard in my life. He was like, "Oh yeah, the Flash, yeah. I have that script sitting on an iPad somewhere. I haven't read it yet, so I'm not gonna confirm that I'm in it." And basically said that, like, you know, when it comes around to it, he's like, I'm a very busy guy right now. He's like, but when it comes around to it, you know, when they get the green light, I'll give the script a read and we'll go from there. And it came out this week that, you know, they're starting production in London.
Yeah.
And he turned around and he's in. He's like, yeah, I'm in.
There's only like 3 things that DC could do right now to get me excited: Batman Beyond,
Flashpoint.
the Flashpoint, The Darkest Night.
Yeah.
The Darkest Night would be an awesome movie series. They need to redeem Green Lantern after the Ryan Reynolds one.
Well, they had they actually shot a scene. Snyder, one of the things that he shot in the reshoots, that 30 million budget that he had, he actually shot a scene with an actor who he picked out to play Jon Stewart. They actually had a scene, and Warner Brothers wouldn't let him use it.
Why was the Martian Manhunter such a throwaway? And was he even in the actual Justice League, or was that just Snyder cut that he was in?
That was just Snyder, I think. Again,
yeah, it was super throwaway.
Yeah, again, like, great character, and I think, you know, maybe Snyder's just throwing a bone to Warner Brothers, like, here you go, here's a character, go develop this. You've got fucking 50 years of comic book stories, cartoons, and everything. Just pick fucking one of them and go with it. Like, you know, it honestly blows my mind. DC, in my eyes, they make better comic books. They always have. They've got way darker and deeper and more like kind of passionate, and the movies are just shit. Like, I just don't understand it. Like the animated movies are so good, and I just think if you adapt some of these comic book stories just into straight movie, page to fucking film, you are going to get some amazing movies. And I don't know why, but Warner Brothers just can't do it. I think, like, I don't know how you get DC away from Warner Brothers, but they need to fucking do it. Like, you know, I imagine Disney picked up DC or something. Jesus.
Or Fox.
I don't know.
Did Fox used to?
Fox, I don't like what Fox really did with a lot of the last of X-Men and Fantastic Four. They did a terrible job of Fantastic Four.
Yeah, true.
So.
They're part of Disney now, anyways. Fox doesn't really exist anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know
Like
that.
Yeah.
All right, Jeff Bezos, save us.
Yeah,
please.
Like I would.
See, they spent like almost $1 billion on Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
And like they got to reshoot it.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's the most.
Wait, what?
It's the most expensive TV series in history. The upcoming.
They've
Lord of the Rings
spent
series.
$1 billion and they have to reshoot it.
Yeah, because the pilot apparently sucked, and so all the pre-production, all that, like they might have to throw a lot of that out the window.
Wow.
And they spent like $200 million just buying the fucking thing.
Yeah.
So
Are they
it's
on,
like they're
New
like,
Zealand? Are they probably doing like on location New Zealand?
They're-
Like,
yeah,
I don't know.
type stuff?
Apparently, they are trying to keep it as close to the Lord of the Rings as possible. So it's costing them an absolute fucking fortune. So yeah, I believe it's going to be movie quality. Like so.
It's just Jeff's weekly allowance. Don't worry about it.
yeah, he's not. This is like passion project.
Yeah. I am. Yeah. Did you guys look at the casting thing? Did you forget or
Oh, I've got mine.
you got yours? I got them as well. Now, to be fair, I'll
Bro, you're
put it-
looking at a stray student right here. I always did my homework, all right?
I
Put
didn't
it-
do my homework.
just to put a disclaimer out here. I did kind of combo mine with my girlfriend. We had a bit of a kind of discussion about it, and put our efforts together. So one or two of mine were her idea. To be fair.
If Kyle didn't do it, do you want to save it for next week when we have the other parts of the Marvelous Chat, since we're going to have to
I got confused.
yeah.
watch
I
it?
only remembered 3 guaranteed, and I don't know if we did Sabretooth for sure, but I had Jean Grey, Rogue, Gambit, and then I saw Sabretooth, and I was like, wait, did we actually confirm Sabretooth? And then I got
Yeah.
confused what the official list was.
The ones that I did were Sabretooth, Rogue, Jean Grey, Beast, Gambit, and
Beast.
Mystique. They're the ones I
Oh,
did.
I didn't put Beast down. Shit.
All right. So, yeah, let's do it. Let's do it for next week, and then we have Bronxy, Max.
Yeah, look, we'll save it for next week. It's fine.
And we should do a Mortal Kombat discussion next week, because you guys are... Once you watch the movie, you'll see.
I'll be watching it on Sunday. So yeah, I'll be ready to talk about that next week.
Completely off topic, you know what I just randomly saw that I've never seen? I never saw the original, and I just saw the second one, Blade Runner. Really enjoyed it. I've never seen the original Blade Runner. Saw the second one, the newer one, like 2 days ago. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
You Anna.
Pretty
Love
good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've like started the second one and I love the first one, and I just like I started watching it and it gets a little slow. I turn it off. I'm like, I don't want you to ruin Blade Runner for me, because like Blade Runner is one of my
it's
all-time favorite movies.
Cult classic. Cult classic.
Still hold up today. Pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I gotta watch the first one. Now.
Oh, Blade Runner! It's one of the best movies ever made, bro.
I gotta watch it.
Are you guys like horror fans?
Recently,
I'm not-
I just started getting into some.
The
Not like a fan, but
one of my favorite kind of like horror like genres is the Conjuring movies. I fucking love those movies so much.
Oh, yeah, that's what got me into horror recently.
Yeah.
Was The Conjuring, and then we started watching Annabelle and all that stuff. Yep.
So Conjuring just put up a trailer for their third movie, which is a fucking wild trailer. It looks incredible.
Does it have the Warren couple in it?
Yes, yeah. It's and like I just love them so much. They're incredible.
That's what sold me on
yeah.
wanting horror.
And like they're they're like, it's like a lot of the stuff is based on true stories, like actual cases that they worked and stuff like that. It's all kind of I'm not gonna say it's all real. It's obviously dramatized incredibly, but it's all based on real people and stuff like that.
But yeah, I love when they do movies like that, because
Yeah.
a lot of them they use actual audio from when they had
Yeah.
like the exorcism back in the day.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
But that third trailer absolutely blew my mind. I love it. I don't know if you guys saw, but I'm not gonna claim, creative property of it, but I was watching like a podcast, and one of these dudes, he has this thing where like when he's shown like content or like trailers or something like that, he like has like an overlay built where like it looks like he's like watching it in a movie theater. So I kind of set one up myself just for when I'm watching trailers and shit. And I popped off the trailer for Conjuring 3 there the other night, and like I was like calling it like Finto's theater and stuff. It's epic, dude.
I think C's did that a few years ago, and I was like, Drnkie, you should do that. He's like, C's already doing it. I'm not going to. I was like, oh, but it's a good idea, bro.
Again, I'm just saying I didn't come up with the idea, but the one that I have is way better looking than the one that he has. So I didn't come up with the idea, but I fucking perfected it.
just
Let's
add him,
say
bro.
that.
Just add him on Twitter.
I'm like
So you
BMW,
go
bro.
rich.
I'm like BMW. We didn't create the car, we just perfected it.
Did you guys ever have the adapter for Super Nintendo to play Game Boy games on Super Nintendo?
Oh yeah.
So they had an option where you could change it to where it either looked like you were playing on a Game Boy screen. One of the options was like a movie theater, and people would get up and like go to get popcorn and stuff
That's so
while you were
cool.
playing Pokemon.
Yeah.
That's what that always makes me think about.
I want to make it a trend on this stream, and like especially on the podcast if I'm ever like, we're gonna go into the theater if we're ever watching trailers and stuff for sure. But like I like, you know, I have no problem throwing a trailer up in the middle of a fucking stream. I'll pause the game if I know a cool trailer's out. Like I'll watch it. But I want it to be a thing now where anytime I'm about to throw a trailer up, I want that drunkie popcorn fucking spammed in the chat. Like, spam, baby. It's like, get the popcorn. We're going to the theater, baby. Hell yeah. Max asked, are we going to discuss Invincible, the new Netflix show based on the comic book?
It's good, bro.
I haven't watched it yet, but I will watch it if we...
Is it based on which comic book?
It's
Invincible.
a comic... Invincible, it's
is that the one with Mr. Glass and...
No.
Okay, I'm confused. I'm thinking Unbreakable.
Unbreakable, yeah. Great fucking movie, by the way.
No, this is it's like an indie comic from Robert Kirkman.
Sorry, yeah, it's on Amazon. Sorry, not Netflix.
Yeah.
But yeah, I haven't read the comic books, but I've heard a lot of people are watching the show, so yeah, I'll watch it.
Has anyone
Happy to discuss.
seen anything on that show called The Boss Fight? I think it's on Hulu. It's from what it looks like on the preview. It looks like almost like a Groundhog Day thing where the guy wakes up and dies every day. And I haven't got into it, but it looks like it might be an interesting thing. It's like a boss fight, maybe kind of mixed with like a Ready Player One aspect, if that's or Groundhog Day with Ready.
I'm always up to watch new shit.
I'll have to watch the first episode and let you guys know.
I would say Invincible is kind of like we watch the entire, like, we're going to talk about it, like we watch the entire season.
Yeah.
And then talk about it, like, because
100%.
episode to episode, I don't think there's a lot there.
Yeah,
because like there's a couple like really cool episodes, but then there's a lot like, yeah, all right. But it's like cool, but it's like I don't know what to talk about with it, to be honest.
Is that show like every episode, like if the full season's up, you can binge it, or is it being released week by week? 7
episodes out. There's the 8th one comes out tonight. I'm not sure how many episodes are in the season.
Okay,
it's week to week, and they're on episode 8 right now.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm all for. I will 100% watch that, and we can talk about it for sure.
It's good. If you're a superhero nerd, like it's like nerd porn, bro.
Yeah.
It's just like it's fucking cool.
I've heard many great things. So yeah, I'm down. I am down. Yeah, I think we need to, like, I don't know if like we can collectively kind of watch some stuff just to keep the discussions going as well, just because, you know, with this show over now, it's gonna get a little dry until Loki, and then it'll get dry again until Black Widow. But, you know, if we're kind of, maybe if we pick something to watch, like something like a short series or something like that, and like I know Drnkie, you had the idea of maybe going back and doing like a kind of another movie marathon and starting the whole MCU again, and maybe just like, you know, we'll do like the first Avenger and, you know, kind of just talk about that. I kind of think that's a really good idea, and I would obviously be down to watch.
I think that carries us because there's like 23 movies we could watch. So like we just pick a watch order, either we do it like release order or chronologically.
Yeah.
And we just call it like the Marvelous Rewatch.
Yeah.
The hindsight, dude. The hindsight going into that is so good too.
Oh, bro, like I only rewatched it when I signed up to Disney Plus. I saw they had it in the timeline order, so I was like, I have to watch it in the timeline order, and it's so much fun. Yeah.
I think before WandaVision came out, Meech and I watched Age of Ultron again, and it was good.
Yeah.
Rewatch.
I think like if we do a rewatch, I think if we watch in release order, it's kind of worthwhile because we're going into a new phase of the MCU, so we'll be able to experience like each phase. Yeah. Kind of how they went. I think that would be a cool way to do that.
Yeah, I'm game. And like obviously anyone in the chat who wants to partake as well. If we like say, I don't know, if we say like for next Friday, we're gonna have all by then watched Cap 1, and then we'll talk about Cap 1 because obviously it's the start of the MCU.
I'm down.
I think that'd be cool.
Yeah. Should we do release order or chronological?
I like, again, I don't really mind either way. Like I've watched it both ways a number of times. I really liked watching it in the timeline order, just because it you know, it made a lot of sense. You know, you start off with Cap 1 and then you go to like Captain Marvel 2 because it's set in the 90s then, and you're kind of just making your way up through Iron Man and stuff, and it kind of just I like the flow of how they're bringing the characters in. Like, you know, you've got Captain Marvel and it's all this big fucking galactic shit, and then we just come back to Tony Stark being a spoiled brat who makes guns, and it kind of brings it straight back to Earth, you know. And it's I just like the kind of bouncing back and forth of it. Like, it just makes, Makes
I
for
think
watching.
the chronological better than release in my mind, because I remember just personally when the release order was coming out, I kept remember going, all right, I'm gonna have to remember this note for the next time I'm gonna get this movie, you know. And you're just like, how's this all gonna tie together? And then when you actually do it that way, you're like, okay, bing bang boom.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do it. And then we also, so Captain America 1, you want to do that for next week?
Cap 1.
Yeah.
I think if we're gonna make it in time, won't we have to do 1 or 2?
I don't know.
Because if there's
Oh, you mean
23,
like
we don't have 23 weeks until.
Well, we can put it on
Loki.
pause, you know what I mean? Like, if we're
Yeah.
discussing Loki, like, we can pause it, you know?
for sure.
Yeah, true.
For sure. Yeah, I think like, you know, keep an eye on the Discord and stuff, and I think, you know, we just maybe, you know, I'll put an announcement in the Discords, like all of our Discords, and just kind of say this week, you know, there's nothing going on. Like next week for sure, you know, we don't really have much going on unless maybe we're going to talk about Invincible or something like that, but we don't really have much MCU stuff going on. So I think, you know, say by this time next week, everyone has watched the first Avenger, and we can kind of just start breaking down Red Skull and kind of
Mortal Kombat.
And Mortal Kombat, yeah, and maybe just like, you know, I don't know, like, because a lot of these movies are old, and you know, I could probably hold a conversation without even watching them, to be honest. But I think it'll be cool to kind of maybe like, you know, where would we have liked to see Red Skull go? You know, we could kind of like maybe just kind of fanboy like predict, like, instead of knowing. Well, obviously we know where it went, but it'd be cool to see, you know, what people maybe had kind of lined up as theories and stuff like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
If I'm making sense. I think I'm making sense.
You're making sense. I'm down.
Yeah.
Let's do it. And then I think it's always fun to start out with something like MCU wise, right? I think that's a good like strategy.
Yeah.
But you know, just saying, May the 4th.
Yes.
Bad Batch.
Oh yes, I will be watching that 100%.
So yeah.
And you know how much of a fucking Star Wars nerd I am. So
Wait, what's happening on May the 4th?
Like me and Finto, like
Star
everyone else
Wars
can
Day?
just like
every year.
everyone else can just like get off the podcast. Me and Finto will nerd out about Star Wars for fucking 4 hours straight. Okay, like it's fine.
100%. So no, they're doing a show called The Bad Batch, Kyle, which is technically, if you were watching the Clone Wars, the Bad Batch were actually introduced in the last season of the Clone Wars, which set place during Episode 3 at the calling of Order 66. These guys basically were an elite kind of black ops squad of the stormtroopers that were made, and what happens is when Palpatine hits Order 66, these guys, their chips are kind of messed up in their head or whatever, and they don't get the order and they go rogue. So the Empire are trying to find these guys and take them down. So you kind of met them in the last season of the Clone Wars. But now they've got their own show. The first episode is 71 minutes long, confirmed.
Damn.
So it's going to be an epic intro to the show, and just predictions on where it's probably going to go. Like, I know you saw in one of the trailers Tarkin is in it, like the guy from the original Star Wars movie, because obviously it's set between 3 and 4. We're probably going to get Vader, like, realistically. You might get Maul as well. There's really opportunity for a lot of cool characters to appear in it. I think my guess is the storyline is going to be around this time. Not a lot of people know who Darth Vader is, so he's kind of in the shadows in the beginning of this kind of timeline. And I think what will happen is the Emperor is going to send Vader to kill these guys.
I want Starkiller. If they mention Starkiller at all, I'd be the happiest kid in the world.
Unfortunately, as far as I know,
Happiest young lad.
Starkiller isn't official canon in the universe, which I hate because I love.
My university is, so
same here. Sam Witwer is a legend. I love him. He actually voices Kenobi in Rebels, if you didn't know.
I didn't know that.
Fun fact for you.
I've always imagined him getting his own show or movie, and that just would be the coolest thing.
He's a partnered Twitch streamer as well.
Really?
Sam Witwer, yeah. He is.
Man.
He's one of one of us. One of us. Yeah. He's a legend. I have a lot of time for Sam Witwer. But yeah, so I think that's the way I predict the show going. I think Tarkin and stuff like that don't really know who Vader is, so I think they're going to have their own kind of mission with stormtroopers to try and eradicate these guys, but I think the Emperor is going to send Vader after them, and I think Vader's going to slay them all. Like, You could have Ahsoka in that show, technically. You know, a younger Ahsoka straight after, because this is a sequel to Clone Wars, and Clone Wars ended with an amazing story arc for Ahsoka, like incredible. Some of the best Star Wars content ever. The last 4 episodes of the Clone Wars are some of the best Star Wars you will ever watch. No lie. So yeah.
All right. Well, boys.
This was a marvelous chat.
This was a marvelous chat, as always, guys. Every week, marvelous chats with the marvelous chaps.
Maybe next week, Naz will make a guest appearance.
Who?
Captain Naz.
Maybe, I don't know. He's off the radar, bro. No,
no.
He mailed me. Said he's got a lot of shit going on in his private life. So, I've no hate towards him or anything. I was like, I was like, dude, get back whenever you can. I hope everything's cool with you. So,
I miss him.
I do.
I miss his positivity.
I miss him too, and he is a well of knowledge. He knows a lot about the MCU. So, I miss having him here. He puts crazy spins on things that I don't even think about, and he gets us all talking for sure. So he's a vital part of it. So for sure, hopefully we can get him back in the coming weeks. Although I don't think he's a big Star Wars fan, so we're gonna teach him some stuff.
We'll get him there.
He's gonna learn today.
Yeah. Oh,
see the way of the dark side.
everyone in the chat. We're gonna teach everybody. Okay, guys. Much love.
Hey,
All right.
GGs.
Thank you.
Thank you so much
Later,
for having me.
everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye, chat.
Later.
Bye.
Yo, guys, thank you so much for hanging out for that. Guys, I don't know what we're doing now. What are we going to do? What are we playing? What are we doing? Thank you so much, everybody who was hanging out in that chat. Bobby, what's up, dude? Sorry, I couldn't talk there. Cookie, how are you, dude? Welcome to the stream. I saw you popping in there. Cajun, thank you so much for hanging out. Annie, thank you for being here as well. Max, we missed you today, dude. Bunch of legends, everybody. For anybody who hasn't seen the theater yet, do you want me to show you what I was talking about with the theater? Finto's theater. Get the popcorn, guys. I'm going to put on the trailer for The Conjuring 2.